Hello and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, this is the Xbox Factor podcast. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL. But you know what? I got about 10 DMs asking if we could go early. The show normally starts at 12 o'clock, but obviously, the big breaking news: the FTC in what is going to come down as the biggest governmental blunder in the history of the record books. Dave, I'm going to say that this might go down in corporate history as the biggest leak to ever happen to a corporation. And what I find preposterous, ironic, exciting, disappointing is that in the same year that Microsoft puts out one of the best single player games they've put out in a decade, in the same year that they close ABK, one of the biggest publishing deals ever in gaming for nearly $70 billion, to add to this list, they're going to have their next 7 years of corporate secrets leaked because of the FTC's blunder. And I got to tell you, folks, we're going to be asking the question here today was this done on purpose? Was this a spite move by the FTC and head chairperson Lena Khan? Because obviously they were embarrassed. They looked like a bunch of knuckleheads at every turn trying to block this deal. As a matter of fact, they still look like knuckleheads. And you know what's interesting, Dave? This accidental leak comes on the heels of a new interview with Lena Khan, who said that they are going to be cracking down and trying to change the law on acquisitions of singular studios, $100 million or less. Normally, those are not even looked upon by the FTC. She's trying to change the law. So now that every company or every developer that Microsoft wants to bring into the fold, let's say, for instance, a Crystal Dynamics, it's going to be under FTC scrutiny. I don't know if I like what she's putting down. But Dave, hello, welcome. Thanks so much for joining. Obviously, you are part of the of multiple shows. Didn't know I was going to get you here today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I know there's going to be more and more of us jumping in, and which is awesome because
yes, there's going to be a big panel.
What a great day.
C-Money's here.
Oh yes. Man, I was so I was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and my I heard a little charm. I was like, oh, it's my son, and I opened it up, and I was like, why do you send me something this? What? I woke me up like that, dude.
Yeah.
I was just like, what? Yeah, going through all the stuff, and it clearly was intentional.
Yes,
100%.
There's no way it couldn't be intentional. The one thing you were saying, Boom, about the Lena Khan trying to change her stuff, trying to change the way things happen, which she could try it for sure. But that still has to go through Congress. That still has to get regulated. And if the ABK deal finishes in the next couple of weeks, Microsoft can just skirt up whatever they need to before any new laws go into place. And
it's going to well, I'll put it to this way. It's the U.S. government. Basically, pardon my French, folks, it takes 8 people to take a shit in local government. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's so to get a law passed where you're going to be digging through an acquisition of under 100 million or less and put that into law. Good luck, Charlie Brown. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say this, folks. This is just remember what I'm about to say is from me. Has nothing to do with C-Money or anyone that's going to be a part of today's panel. If Lena Khan did in fact rubber stamp this, she needs to be impeached. She needs to go to jail. I will say that right now because you again, as podcasters, as gamers, as consumers, we look at this roadmap for Xbox and we are rah and we're cheering because okay. And we're gonna break everything down, folks. Get ready. We're probably gonna be here 3 hours. That's why we started early. I don't want to put the pressure on Umbra, who's right now on another podcast with Risk It for the Biscuit,
Brisket.
Jedi Peter, and a few others. We're gonna see if we can get them to come on into our show when they're done. I reached out to King David. Unfortunately, he's tied up with some real work, like actual work. So we're gonna have some people coming in and out throughout the 3-hour show. Obviously, we're gonna be joined by Daniel. Will be joining us momentarily. But there is something to be said about, at least for me, looking at this roadmap. Like I said, folks, there are a lot of documents. I want to do a big shout out to Destin Legary, who put out absolutely astounding video. And folks, when I looked at it, I think it was just before 7. I was just about to take Mrs. Boom to work. Right, we're up at 6 every day, and I noticed that it was just posted, and it was 4 hours prior. So I'm saying to myself, wait a second. If it's 6 o'clock in the morning here in Cali, it's 2 a.m. And you can tell because Destin's hair was like this. You know, when his hair's like, the poor guy, he probably put the baby down or the kids down for sleep, and he's like, "Honey, this is crazy," and he went running over. And great reporting from the fantastic community member Destin Legary, which is why I'm a big fan of his channel. I don't know if I'm ever going to get big enough to get him on the show. Plus, my IGN slander may keep him away, but I understand. Obviously, from a professional point of view, he must keep up with his IGN appearances. But I'm a big fan, Destin. If you are listening, thanks for everything that you do. Great video today. Okay, so I want to give a shout out. First of all, let me go into my Twitter for a second, folks, because I do want to thank a bunch of people. Dragonheart Yobi, I want to thank him. Kia Walker, Percolator 9000, Gain Down Sites, let's see, Idle Sloth, Brett Bingham, CDMF Flips. There's so many people that DM'd me. I woke up this morning to
including me
DMs. So a big thank you to everyone who gave me the information. I'm sorry, Dave. You wanted to say something, brother?
No, I sent it to you too, but I'm just saying it. Well, I figured about a dozen other people would already got it to you, but I thought I got to at least make sure he knows for sure.
Well, I am going to say this before we get out of control, because it's already starting to get out of control. I want to just read it. First of all, we got a new member, Isaac Hayes 85. Brother, thank you so much for joining the channel. That really does help more than you know, and obviously that does power the big giveaways. We're doing a $500 giveaway on the 29th, Friday the 29th, for the 6th annual Boom's Birthday Bash. My birthday, folks, on the 25th, but you get the prizes. We're giving away 10 $50 gift cards. And of course, we're going to do it again in November for Mrs. Boom's birthday. And then one more time for the largest sum we have ever given away on the channel, folks. 2 hours, $1,500 in prizes for the 6th annual holiday show. That's right. You heard me correct. $1,500. I don't know what the denominations are going to be, but I'm almost positive we're going to have 2 grand prizes of $250 gift cards times 2. So $500 there, and the rest is going to be broken up. But we can't do that without the super chats. We can't do that without the channel memberships. So a big thank you for all of that. Michael Mooney drops a very generous £5 super chat and says, "I wonder if the USB-C is for same reasons as the PS5 USB-C. I'm not sure. I'm not a tech guy, so I don't know if that's what they're going for." RC Polygons drops a very generous $10 super chat and says, "With the PowerPoint slide, MS is looking to acquire WB Games. Well, they were looking to acquire them. I don't know about anymore. Or Nintendo. I personally don't think Microsoft should acquire Nintendo. That would make it a 2-horse race. It's better to acquire WB." I mean, everyone was on their radar. Some of these things are old, so I don't know how relevant they are to the conversation. I think that if Microsoft is going to do a power move in Japan, it's going to be Sega. We have a quote from Phil Spencer. He wants to do a special Sega Xbox, which sounds dope. And if I got to import that and cost me $1,000, I will gladly do it. Dave, okay, so we're going to start with you. Now, shout outs to Game Pass tracker on the X.
Mhm.
They're on Twitter. They are absolutely astounding. They follow me. I follow them. They had put out an amazing post with everything. So I'm going to kind of give you the synopsis of everything that happened. Okay. And according to the tweet, it says, look no further. This is a complete list of all of the leaked Xbox documents from the FTC versus Microsoft case involving the acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. Now, here are the highlights that they have put down. Full timelines on Xbox plan from now into the end of 2030, the next 7 years. Xbox is trying to buy Nintendo, possibly Warner Brothers, Valve, and more. There is an Xbox handheld that is also in this picture, folks. We kind of knew that already, even though no one has really talked about it except this show and maybe a few others. But we kind of knew that was happening. A mid-gen and next-generation Xbox dates for 2025 and 2028. They have pictures. Obviously, you saw that the picture of the new Xbox is a cylinder rather than a like a block. They're also going to be making the cylinder, which is going to have, it's going to be digital only. It's going to be a discless Series X. Apparently, that is going to be what the all incoming normies will be buying. Supposedly, they're talking about maybe $299 for entry for this new discless Series X, which is a cylinder. And there's going to be a higher new series that's going to be, you know, the top tier model, which sounds fantastic. Next Xbox controller, codename Sybil, coming May of 2024. There are Oblivion and Fallout 3 remasters and remakes in the work that currently working on right now. Red Dead Redemption 2 for next gen is coming. I mean, go figure. That's in the documents. Xbox Cloud Console is also in there. There's a new Series S codename Elwood coming August or September of 2025. There is a new Series X codename Brooklyn coming October or November of 2025. Indiana Jones, folks, is coming sooner than later, and maybe even next year. There's a name for the next Doom game, and yesterday it leaked that they are currently, and I say they, ID Software is working on the next version of ID Tech, and it's codenamed ID Tech 8. Elder Scrolls 6 was supposed to originally was planned for 2024. They have confirmed on this leak that they are, and I say they, working on Ghostwire Tokyo 2. That is awesome. If you have not played that game, please play. It's going to be in my top 10 of 2023. They are shooting for 100 million Game Pass subscribers in the next 8 years or less. Cloud gaming smart TV apps spreading to more TVs, and let's talk about brands. There's a new Elite controller currently in the design phase. A premium controller in the plans, better than standard, worse than Elite. So it's going to be like a premium, somewhat like a middle version. Let's see. Upgraded cloud gaming server blades. Series X version. There's another Series X version. I believe that's the cylinder, called Earther, and much more. Okay, look, folks, here's the thing. I'm out of breath, and I need to take a drink. And there is a lot to get in here. Let's start first with Dave. Dave, let's get into this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a lot that we're going to cover. Once we start getting other people in, I'm going to start bringing in some other, like some slides and stuff, and I'm going to throw it up on the screen so you folks so we can share with you what we're seeing. What's the highlight here for you?
Well, there's a lot to highlight for sure.
So much.
One of the things that kind of jumps out, though, and it was on that list, I don't think you quite got to it, but it's on the list if you look at it, is that there is also plans for an app that'll work on the current streaming sticks and set-top boxes, which means Roku, Fire Stick. So not only are they integrating with the TV, but with this new controller, apparently and the new app will be able to integrate with the newest versions of their updated software for the Roku so that's just people like already have it in my house. I don't have to buy anything else. Those are big. If you can just buy and this controller is probably going to be more. I would say it's probably going to be around the $100 range because all the features it has.
Oh, it looks crazy.
And if you noticed, it even says in the description of the controller, which is great, that it's rechargeable and exchangeable batteries.
Exchangeable batteries. Yeah. Destin actually covers
combining the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So in other words, it's so battery, you just charge it up. I don't know if you'll have an extra battery or if you'll be able to plug it and charge it, kind of like basically a play and charge kit already built into it, or if you'll be able to take a battery pack off, plug it up, put your charged one in, continue going. Either way, it's going to save you a ton of money and it's going to be immaculate. And it has all the latest. I mean, all of the latest technology, the highest, I guess, benchmark for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth currently in the market today. So that means it'll be compatible with any device, any computer, any laptop, any phone, even this, the new quote unquote Apple gaming phone. It'll be compatible with everything. So it's like, that's great. To me, those are the things that jump out as like, whoa, that's amazing. I got to get a hold of one of these controllers. I assume it could also be, bundled in with this new console, the quote unquote new version of the console. I keep saying quote unquote. I can quit doing that. But it's just I'm like you, man. I got up at 2 a.m. and I'm already at work and stuff.
First of all, folks, for real life.
Yeah.
I know I normally when this kind of news breaks, and C-Money knows because we were talking on the phone. I'm transparent. You know why I didn't start at 10 o'clock or even earlier? Because I was doing my wash. And I had the stuff in the dryer, I had stuff in the wash, and I ran up here like a lunatic. I didn't even fold the shit. I threw it on the bed. I'll fold it after. It's fine.
There you go.
I had to come here for you. So if Mrs. Boom's shirt is wrinkled, I'm blaming the chat. I'm not blaming myself, but Dave, please continue. Because and folks, real quick, I know there's people asking in the chat. This is Motorfest. This is the Ubisoft Racer. It is dope. Oh my God. It's not as good as Forza Horizon 5 because it's the king, but this is good. And if you have Ubisoft Plus, you get the gold package for nothing. Download it, play it. It's really good.
So it's there was so much stuff to go over. And there's one thing I can say is like, wow, it opens up all the information that Microsoft probably was wanting to drop and surprise and stuff for the next, especially like in the next to the end of the year. I'm sure a lot of these announcements and things were going to happen at the show, maybe even Tokyo Game Show. There may be some things that's like, hey, guess you guys already know about this.
They're flying there literally right now I think it's like in Japan, it's got to be super, super late, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
They're going to be there tomorrow, and obviously tomorrow's Tokyo Game Show. It's Thursday. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah, I'm going to be sitting down with Retri and potentially a couple other people. By the time we get up, because I get up at 6, it's going to be over, and I'll have everything ready to go for the 12 o'clock show. We're going to be covering everything and anything that is Tokyo Game Show. But I think you're onto something. I think, and maybe that's why we haven't heard from Phil, and maybe they're trying to figure this out because I'm waiting for the presser. They got to say something.
I don't think. I think they may actually sit on it for a little bit, not necessarily days, but like a little bit. Let this. They're probably going to have some meetings today, and they're going to figure some things out. I mean, as far as like, is everything out there? For the most part, probably. But I guarantee you, there's some things, and even some of the games that they talked about were code names. So there's still some like. Whew, thank God we still have the code name on there. So there's still some things that are still a mystery that they'll be able to to drop it as they need to. And as excited as we are for this information, it is sad that they that it takes the sales out of a lot of the expectations.
Yeah.
But I think in the big picture, if you step back, maybe like a month or so from now, I don't think this hurts Microsoft. There was nothing in there that was like, I mean, of course, there's going to be places that'll spin it as the mighty Microsoft buying their way to the top. Who cares? However they get there,
Yep.
and they stop
Listen,
Evil Empire.
the New
Sony,
York
sure.
Yankees did it in the '90s, and all I can say, in the great words of the late Richard Pryor, "Tough titty." Sorry,
Exactly.
I don't know what to tell you. Spend some money, Sony. Spend some money. Everyone else, get involved.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, like I said, it's some part of me is kind of like, oh man, it's I bet they're hurt. But now it's like, holy crap, we see that they are really digging in and working hard for us, the consumer, like no other company. I mean, that's it's clear that Phil has a goal, has a means to an end. He knows where he wants to take the company. He knows where, so I mean, all that's just there's so much in the documents that got released, from internal emails that have nothing to do, just like his speculation or what we'd like to see or what we'd like to try for, to oh, by the way, here's this technology we're working on, and here's what's going to happen next, and here's a blueprint for the next ones, and here's the games so there was so much that was in there. All I can say is, if Sony, and I know Sony is looking at this too, they're going to be like, oh, we got some work we got to do. So I'll turn it back to you, Boom, but I could go on for another 20 minutes.
No, we're gonna be going back and forth for a bit. C-Money, let's bring you into the conversation, but before we do, shout out to Sith Lord, who's been a channel member for 17 months. He says this on the member chat: "Oh my God, what a morning! Why can't things go smoothly for Microsoft now that they have to go to TGS with all of this on their shoulders?" I mean, yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I'm sure that this isn't going to hurt what they're going to show. I think, look, C-Money, you're a businessman, obviously, and you obviously, you understand leaks, you understand surprises, you understand what it means to rally the troops around you. I was talking to Kay Asante and Everborn. I know from a corporation point of view, this is not good. This is not how they wanted this information. They wanted this information to be doled out over a course of many, many years as they got to these things. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If you are not already an Xbox fan, you are probably looking to go buy one, because the future is incredibly bright. They are all in on gaming. I think two of the things, C-Money, that I walked away after reading everything, and I'm going to read it again because I'm doing a lot of reading on live on the air for people to to get grasp of what's happening here. There are two key points here. The first point is that console gaming, whatever that looks like, isn't going anywhere. You're going to have your machine under your TV for at least 2030. Now, does it? I mean, I can't see what's going to happen tomorrow, so I don't know. But at least Microsoft isn't taking your hardware away. But I think the number one thing as a consumer, because that's what we all are. I don't care what flag you fly. We're all consumers. If you look, and we will read it verbatim of what their PowerPoint slides said, we are at the center of everything that they're doing. Yes, they're going to make money. Yes, they're a corporation. Yes, they have investors. I get all of that. But the way that they have positioned us as gamers to win with unlimited content for a very, very reasonable price, no one else can compete. And I think that is what you should take away from it. But C-Money, what's the highlight for you so far?
The most exciting thing, because this was wild. I was not expecting to have this happen. But the most exciting thing for me is seeing their plan for the next gen console, because that is huge. We were just talking, the last couple, this weekend and then yesterday, I've been having this whole big discussion on our channel about, the iPhone 15, the Pro, and what that means, where Apple's coming into the game, and if it can play the games now, what's going to happen, in the future. Every year the phone gets more powerful. You know what I'm saying? So if it's already doing it now, what's it going to be by the time 2028 comes around, and what is that going to mean for the future of consoles if they're stuck in 2028 with whatever power they have. Meanwhile, the new iPhone is going to get stronger the next year, the next year, the next year after that, right? And the fact that they're doing this hybrid approach, I'm super pumped for. I love the fact that they're bringing in the cloud. That's the thing that I couldn't stand that we lost from the Xbox One generation. This was supposed to happen last gen. Xbox would have been in a whole different world if that would have took place, right? So the fact that now they're going to go ahead and make it where the cloud is going to enhance the box, which means that if they keep upgrading the cloud, we're going to keep getting a more powerful system. So they can do a yearly or every 2 years upgrade to the available power that's in the cloud for developers that doesn't ruin everything because they're still building it for the box, right? So the game is being built for the box and the cloud is enhancing everything else. This is just a amazing way for them to keep relevant in power, right? Because they can always move things forward. And I think when they did it in 2013, people were worried about the internet. We're in 2023, right? Obviously, this box is going to be always online if you want to take advantage of what it's going to have. Guess what? We always have our box online. So I just can't fathom the idea that people are still going to be crying about always online and all this other nonsense. Because that's the world we live in, right? It's just I'm just so pumped for the idea.
You are basically online for just about anything that you do, whether that be in your home, whether that be on the road, or with your phone. You are always, connected to something.
Mhm.
There, of course, there are going to be some people that don't have internet. I hear you, but I don't think that I don't mean to be disrespectful, C-Money, but if you are not connected, then the reason why they're going to continue forward is because the subsection of people that aren't connected in 2023 are so minuscule. And I'm not saying you don't count, folks. Understand, if you're watching this right now, that means you're probably connected to something.
Yeah. We can't hold back progress, right? Remember, this is going to be on your phones too, man. Like, they don't even care. It's not, remember, just the fact that the cloud is going to enhance the console, that's one thing. But then you got to just flip it on the other side. That means the cloud is also going to be able to power that game right to your phone, and you don't need the console. You know what I'm saying? So,
guys, I don't interrupt. I just want to. This is just posted from Tom Warren, which I figured this was going to happen, but
okay, talk about it.
Just happened. It said the U.S. District Court has deleted all of the documents in the FTC versus Microsoft case following this huge error, where multiple confidential Xbox documents were attached in a single PDF. Yeah, so they've just like in the last 5 minutes deleted everything that was open to the public. So, but obviously, most of us have already downloaded and have copies. Exactly, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's out of the bag.
Literally,
but
you could have, and just so you know, folks, how this went down. This was uploaded. It was supposed to be protected. It wasn't, and it literally allowed you, because Destin Legary said it in his video. I just simply pressed download, and there it was, all the documents, all 21 pages, because that's what it is. 21 pages of corporate secrets leaked with PowerPoint slides and everything. This stuff is supposed to be protected. It's out there. Like, Suppose out is saying, she's saying that it's too late. It's out there now. Yeah, once the internet gets it, it's forever. Yeah. Sorry. So
I'm sure they probably got some kind of court order this morning saying they needed to pull it down.
Yeah, it's just Jed Revan Wolf says, little LOL, too late. The genie is out of the bottle, or the cat's out of the bag, or the dog's out of the kennel. Whatever pun you want to use, it's too late, Luther. Too late.
Hey, I see Risket's in the chat. If you
know, Risket, if you want to jump in, brother, I'll send you a link. I know it's super late by you because you're on the other side of the planet, but I'm gonna drop a link in there. C-Money, please continue.
Sorry, bud.
Oh yeah, no worries, man. But yeah, so that was a huge highlight for me, like having that next gen. And then I'm really digging the controller, bro. Like, the idea that they're taking it to the next level with the controller. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. You got the haptics in there. Same beautiful form factor, but now it's direct to the cloud. So they're
And
doing like a
speaker.
Google Stadia play. So now when you're playing on the cloud, you're getting that direct feedback. It's actually better. So I'm pumped for it, man. I think it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I gotta take a quick call though, so I'm gonna hop off
Yeah,
real quick.
it's
Yeah,
got
no
it,
sweat. We have Riskit and we have Mr. Badbit joining us momentarily. So let's
and it's also got the controller has the haptics feedback in
it
it,
does, which is
and
something I
gyro
like.
controls,
I
and
really,
the
really
speaker
dig. A lot of I'm not Dave. A lot of people don't like that in the PlayStation 5
options.
controller. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of dig it. So you know, we will see. But you know what? While we wait for some other people to join us, I do have some. This was see, and this okay. I think I'm going to pause it because I really want to share this with everybody. I want you to see. Oh, Infinite Umbra's here. Infinite Umbra, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
What is up, Boom? What's up, panel? What's going on, chat?
Good morning.
I'm good. You know, I'm good. I'm feeling great after seeing these leaks and things like that, because to me it paints a pretty picture for the future for Xbox.
It paints a really big picture.
But I imagine Phil and team are pissed right now, boy. Somebody's about to lose their job if it was on Xbox.
Yeah,
side
somebody is going to, like I said, I said it, you know, obviously you weren't here yet, and we have Riskit potentially joining us as well. Mr. Badbit and Daniel will be here momentarily. So thank you for joining us a bit earlier than normally our 12 o'clock start. I'm going to pause the footage, which, of course, this is the new crew Motorfest, which I'm really enjoying. But, oh, man, let me just add that. Hold on, I'm going to pause it. I want to screen share something for the fans here, because I really think that it's important to the conversation. Let me just, you know what? Hold on just a second. Let me just make sure and see which one it is. It is, okay, here it is. Okay, so give me a second. Doing this real time, folks. So bear with me, bear with the old man as he figures this shit out, because yeah, this is I want it for context to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so as you can see on your screen, okay, this is the opening slide for the leaked documents. And it says the path to 2030. And there are a couple of really ginormous takeaways from here. One of which, and this is for me, is Master Chief is front-facing on this slide, which tells me that even though Halo took a hit for a lot of people in regards to like no single-player content continuation of the story, some people were disappointed with the fact that it was this new engine. It wasn't Unreal Engine 5 a la Umbra. The fact that on this roadmap that was leaked, on this PowerPoint slide, the fact that Master Chief is right up there front and center means, and it tells me as a gamer, as an Xbox gamer, that the Master Chief and the Halo franchise that has, you know, it's dropped off over the course of the years with 343 not doing what they were supposed to do. But make no mistake, Halo Infinite multiplayer is phenomenal. I know, because I have multiple tons and tons of hundreds of hours into it, and I quite enjoy it. But let me just read for you exactly what it says here. And it says gaming devices, path to 2030. Console business is the foundation. That's important. Consoles are considered a key health meter for the brand and will continue to drive majority of revenue and subscribers. See, and that's what we talk about, the box being underneath your TV. New endpoints are the path to 100 million members. Unlocking new off-console endpoints and improving the experience will substantially grow subscribers over the course of the next 8 years. Controller becomes the hero, it says. The new Xbox controller is the only thing you'll need to play on every device. This low barrier to entry will fuel subscriber growth, meaning if you have a controller, according to this, you're going to be able to play basically anywhere, something that you cannot do anywhere but on Xbox. Personalization and customization. And it says the same two words, personalization and customization, continue as a hardware strategic advantage and key profit driver and customer delighter. And I think that's key. Again, folks, we're at the center of what they want to do. Sustainability and accessibility, continued progress towards reduction of carbon tax impact, re-energizing our journey of inclusion. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, who cares? Microsoft cares about the planet, and you probably should also. So when you see it, when you're about to throw your glass bottle, and not to recyclables, you probably should think twice, because obviously we don't have a planet. We can't play games. I'm just saying. Umbra, I want to go to you first. Okay, so this is the first PowerPoint slide that we're talking about. I'm going to bring up that controller in a second. Let's get your hot take on this, man. What jumps off the page for you on this opening slide?
So much right there to take from that personally. What opens up to me is, and I hate to say it like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Our Hooved brothers.
Yes, talk about them.
Absolutely. They absolutely wrote off Xbox so many times. I'm sure everybody in the chat knows. They said that Xbox will be a third-party publisher in next year and so on and so forth. Now, we all knew that they were full of nonsense, but this right here, this layout of plans for the future, that doesn't mean it's laid in concrete. It can change things, and I'm sure they will. But this is a path going to 2030. That's already 8 years into the future. 7 now.
Yes. Yep.
So and beyond. I mean, I know plans change, but you look at this and the growth they're trying to get with the 100 million subscribers and things like that, and you start to get the picture painted to you pretty clearly that Microsoft is here for the long haul. It's a positive. Somebody just asked me on Twitter. They said, "You sure seeing a lot of positives in this?" I don't think you can see any of this and be negative as a consumer. As a consumer, you just had plenty of any negative thoughts you may have had on the longevity of this platform, which just washed away.
Yeah.
This right here shows fully that Microsoft is literally about their words and that they are fully behind Xbox. Yeah. This right here is a positive for us now, and maybe not so much for Feeling Team. I'm sure they're right now in a, waking up with a headache and such and trying to find out how this happened. But for us, this paints a really pretty picture of a roadmap outside of what we already know of games to come that we learned this year. It's a lot of positive stuff here as far as they do. They speak here and they say console business is the foundation, the top point right there. And right there it says consoles are considered a key health meter for the brand. Now, many people thought that, and of course our Hoove brothers led the way, that well, with them having a mobile device, or a device you can plug to your TV, things of that nature, they thought, well, maybe they'll be moving out of the market. With them bringing games to PC, well, maybe they'll be moving out of the console market. This right here tells you, no, the console is key. So that hasn't changed for them. You talk about the new controller that they were going to bring out, and we all saw images of that already. We were just talking about this on the Xbox Infinite 90.5 episode, the impromptu episode that Risk It and us we jumped into. But that controller is pretty much the exact same controller as the current one, albeit with new additions to it, the haptic and the gyroscope or whatever the gyro put into it. But I think a lot of this right here is just a lot of positivity. I don't know, man. I think about this, and like I said, the subscriptions that they're trying to add, and we already heard so much other news because it's hard to process this because it's so much.
We're going to be talking about this. I think everybody, you yourself on Danny, your Thursday night show, The Fix is going to be just because remember, we have to digest. You got to remember, folks, and shout out to the podcast community, the Iron Lords, Mav, Pong, Pong Soul, Steel Rain, obviously a Living Split Screen, and the Gaming Circle podcast on Saturdays. Everyone is going to be talking about this because there's a lot to digest. This is 21 pages of the next 8 years, 7 to 8 years of Xbox and what they plan to do. Shout out to Tom Warren, who has just been on fire the last couple of days, doing what he does over at The Verge. I mean, he's just been putting one out after another. Of course, shout out to many people, Hazardor Gaming, Idle Sloth, Attillo, Peter Ovo. It's just been this. Everyone's out there. It's a lot. So we're going to be intaking this. But you know, I'm with
just
you,
before you
Umbra.
move on to that, just to add to this, now it's not on this slide, but it coincides with it. So they're talking about the gaming devices path to 2030 right here.
Yes.
But one thing that we see, speaking of Idle Sloth, he had posted this, and I'm not sure if you saw it, but he was talking about what game Microsoft is projected to make and bring in by that year, by fiscal year 2030. So they're projected to try to bring in 36 billion in gaming.
Yes.
And which will be a record for them, and that includes 7 billion from hardware and consoles, accessories, 16.8 billion from transactions and others like console and PC cloud, 7.8 billion from subscriptions, 2.6 billion from mobile transactions, and 1.4 billion from advertisement. I don't think you can see this and come away with a negative thought on this. Honestly, that's a W all the way around. So I know that internally somebody's losing their job. If somebody from Microsoft uploaded that accidentally, they're fired. But if it was actually the other way around, and it was CMA that did it, or the FTC rather, somebody's getting sued. So it's I'm sure it's a negative for Microsoft, but it's paints a pretty picture for us.
There is, I guess, a pretty major negative actually that, now if you think about it, that is coming from this, and it's the fact that since the mid-gen refreshes are essentially confirmed now, and they're going to be coming next year, how many people are going to say, you know what, I'll hold off till next year instead of buying now? You know what I'm saying? Like the people who are going to buy now, they see the upgrades, they see they're getting a new controller, they see they're getting the better Wi-Fi, all this fun stuff, the new form factor.
I could say maybe I hear your point on that, but I think that only applies really to the hardcore, because there's also, as we saw with this leak, was the 75% of the people who are playing on the Series S. So I don't think that's going to change too dramatically going for the.
Well, even the Series S is getting the same, is getting a refresh as well. But you make a good point that I don't think the mass market is going to know about this. You know what I'm saying? I think this is more like
it's more of a hardcore
situation.
Yeah, and the new controller isn't probably going to be boxed in with those systems. The new controller, I think, is going to be sold separate, and it still lists the core controller on that that one sheet.
It's a fair point.
Shows the Pro controller, the new controller, and then the core controller, and they all still say active at this time. So also
the Web Dave's point is that controller, are they talking about for the next gen console? Because the design styling for it looks like it's for another console. It doesn't look like it's for this, because they would have just kept it the straight black or whatever it was, right, or white. But that has a specific different design, and it has newer features.
I'm actually going to bring up that controller right now. As a matter of fact, let me screen share that, and you guys and gals could take a look at the screen. Take a look at the new controller. There it is for you, folks.
It's got pants.
It's shiny.
It's got pants. Joe, what's going on, brother? Welcome. How you feeling?
What's up,
I'm feeling sick.
No.
Let me tell y'all, I woke up today and I was like, you know what? It's a Tuesday. We got a couple of days till the Tokyo Game Show. Nothing big's gonna happen. Let me just check my phone, and then
and here we go. Yeah,
and everything came falling down.
So much information that a whole team of people are getting fired for this. This is nuts. This is nuts.
A whole team of people. I love it. That's great.
I wanted to say this too, because I said this at the end of the podcast I was just on with Risky and the team. If it had not been for Xbox, and I think even you would agree, Bad Bit, even being a PlayStation content creator as you are, I think if it had not been for Xbox, as far as the news we've been having and the leaks that they unfortunately have been having left and right, gaming discussions would have been dry as hell. Xbox has been on the tongue of everyone. I think that's fair to say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, they're making, I was actually thinking about this a few days ago. They're the ones that are making moves right now, because they are the ones that need to make the moves right now. So you're seeing them say all sorts of stuff and do all sorts of things, because they have the ground to make up. PlayStation, they don't have to do anything. And so you don't see them talk as much, strictly because, they have the ground to lose. Right. So, I agree. It's been interesting.
Isn't that so wild? That's so wild that, like, at the end of the day, like, PlayStation, like, if you're like more on the PlayStation side, like the ability to be like, well, I guess I don't need to know because they don't want to tell us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's such a pain in the ass to
Oh,
think that
trust me,
like, why
coverage
would they?
for the last month has been rough.
Yeah, it's like, what do
The
you
last
guys
month or
talk
two, yeah.
about? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
it's
mean,
know,
listen,
I got
listen.
some
You gotta
breaking
listen
news
to
here.
listen
I
to
got-
the trophy. We come up with all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a great show.
well, I'm
It's a
sure
great
you
show.
guys do. I mean, you're top class, man. I'm just
There you
talking
go.
about like in
Gentlemen,
general, like
Hey,
the goal.
Boom.
Hold on,
I was gonna
I got breaking news here.
okay.
Okay,
snap.
so Cilicia the Astanasio,
just what I was gonna
who
mention.
is an award-winning reporter covering the games industry business for Bloomberg News. This is according to this Bloomberg report that just had dropped, folks. The Microsoft mistakenly posts secret game plans to government's website. Bloomberg. Microsoft Corp
Oh,
mistakenly
God.
uploaded confidential information about its video game operations to a federal court website, according to a person familiar with the matter and a post from the Federal Trade Commission's employee.
Yeah.
This is the quote
Cecilia
from the
D'Anastasio.
yeah, it's the FTC. According to the FTC was not responsible for uploading Microsoft plans for its games and consoles to the court website. The FTC's director of public affairs wrote on Twitter, formerly X, formerly known as Twitter, apparently. So that is
Yeah,
now
somebody's
we have
lost
to
their
figure this
job.
out.
Mhm.
This is
Wow.
literally Pong Soul literally just posted this. And Daniel McGee, who's be joining us momentarily, says he seems to think that he doesn't believe that to be true. I don't know, man. That seems Microsoft uploading it. Why would they?
Yeah.
Well, they got the ear of everybody right now this morning. What's the big
yeah.
conversation?
I'll say this. I know Brad Pitt
Microsoft.
is chomping at the bit, so to speak. Sorry to use that pun, but I want to just say this
Okay.
one thing. We did a conspiracy. We put on a little tinfoil at the last minute on the last podcast. I wonder, with all these continued leaks, this is kind of unprecedented to keep having these leaks for one company, especially after the Series S situation, right? Major
Yep.
stuff. This is 10 times
Yeah.
bigger than that. I wonder, is there some type of mold there inside of Microsoft that is purposely doing this to them to sabotage them, and they're being paid off by someone or something like that?
It's very interesting. You know, I mean, we don't know. We just don't know. Here's Daniel McGee. Yes, Daniel, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
It was Microsoft who uploaded the
I saw it. We just literally
bad
just said
documents.
that.
It says man whose job it is to make sure it's not FTC's fault.
Right. What up, Danny?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Well, first of all, before we bring Daniel in, Mr. Badbit, let's
Yeah.
get your take on this. Obviously, there's a lot to get into, folks. So by all means, please hang out for a bit. I saw a lot of new names here. We're over 700 people here in the chat. If you're finding the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing. I do this 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 5 different shows, all different panels, and we never use hate mongering or console war to say the show. Either you come here, you have fun, you hang out, you laugh. We, you know, like I said, consider subscribing because we're on the hunt for 14K, and every sub definitely helps. But Mr. Badbit, again, there is literally so much to get into. Where do you want to start, sir?
Oh man, that's bad. Oh, that's a big old what we like to call oopsie, you know? Damn, I mean, yeah, it does seem like the killer's in the room. That really sucks because they did just shoot themselves in the foot, PR speaking. Because this is a whole bunch of beats that they would have liked to share themselves. And what you have at the moment is a Microsoft that is stretched out, doing a lot of things at once. Like this acquisition is huge for them. And you're seeing them make these little mistakes. Now, at the end of the day, is this thing going to be like, is this the worst thing in the world? No. Is it an embarrassing blemish? Absolutely.
So the FTC,
like,
because they're the ones who did it. Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't think so. But
I mean, the guy who said it was Microsoft who did it is literally the FTC's director of public affairs. So literally, the one person you can trust least.
Exactly.
I mean, so the documents that like would be like shared over, it's not like they have like both the redacted and unredacted, documents, I would assume, right?
Yes, they
So
do.
yeah, so to me, I would just say no, this is not a conspiracy. I think Xbox just ate shit today.
Or the FTC made a mistake. We'll find out, Joe.
I mean, listen, if the reporters on the ground are saying that Microsoft made
do we honestly? I'm not going to take the press. I mean, this is the press, and it's Bloomberg. I mean, listen, they've gotten it wrong before, and again, we don't know. We'll know.
I mean, listen,
days.
they've shared like I don't know, things that are would be considered embarrassing on the PlayStation side in terms of like, just off the top of my head, like the PSVR 2 stuff. So, that was what, back in February. So like, PlayStation probably or didn't say anything at the time. So Xbox isn't going to probably say anything at this time. If someone at the FCC did that, like, just think of the legal ramifications that has.
That's It's
right. So like,
the FTC
no,
everybody.
it's not that. It's not.
I just find it very hard to understand. See, this is why I don't understand. Why would Microsoft upload their entire roadmap to 2030 now? And how was that not like, what I'm saying? Like it to me, could it happen? Sure, but I hate to say this.
Have you ever uploaded the wrong thumbnail once?
Sure, but I'm also not a multi-billion-dollar or trillion-dollar company with,
right.
So if I make the mistake, you say, boom, you're just a boob. But if someone from Microsoft makes a mistake like this,
like,
it's devastating.
All it takes is one guy that's not that great at Excel to click on the wrong little file. And then,
you know what? This is why we love you here, because you have a different opinion. I don't trust government. I don't trust. I certainly don't trust the press. And
can't trust the system, man.
Can't trust the system. The man is there ready to hold you down, folks. So get ready.
I mean, especially when it's coming
held
from the FTC, who we've seen do absolutely nothing but mess up for the last year and a half.
I mean, that's also that's a fair point as well.
Remember, they didn't redact everything. They didn't use a good redactor.
Right, yeah. Someone
FTC,
used.
I mean, the whole trial.
Yeah, someone once used, what was it, like a bad
like
Sharpie
or something?
Yeah, Sharpie. Probably the Dollar Tree version of a Sharpie, which is probably just saying.
That's embarrassing, or something that I wouldn't want to see if on PlayStation. So I don't know, man. I don't believe in like many conspiracy theories. Usually the things that are there are in front of you. So,
if anybody should have had this happen, it should have been PlayStation, because then maybe we would have known something about what's to come.
Well, Sony doesn't have any plans. I mean, that's really
I would have loved that.
We don't have. They don't have any plans. They're shooting from the hip as we speak. And Joe, you've been talking about on the trophy room that you wish you knew what the H they were doing, because they're not telling you
every day.
You're playing Bloodborne 2 as Pinocchio. I mean, what is happening?
Listen, I gotta take my wins where I can get them. If Pinocchio's the only way,
if Pinocchio's the only way to do it, then goddamn it.
But real talk, just because like the press may not say something nice about the thing that I like doesn't make them some type of weird conspiracy towards it. They say shit I don't like stuff I don't like every day.
Yeah, listen,
it really comes down to this. Very well could be, if all signs are pointing to, someone literally sent the wrong folder, and it happens. I've literally done that in my PR jobs, and it's embarrassing. So like it happens, and you go, well, how could it?
It's so different though. Like all the different things that they're talking about are so different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they had to put this all together to upload it all at the same time over there.
Plus, who
are they sending this shit to?
Who proofreads this? And it's not one single person's job to do this, by the way. So I hear you, bad bit, but what's the odds?
I'm telling you,
one single person is like, oh yeah, let me upload this. Oops.
And I'm telling you,
other people overlooking this. I don't see
as the person with the PR experience, it has happened. I have done it.
Yeah, but this is not PR documents. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing about
like this is like
leaked emails to be a PR move. You know what I'm saying? Like PR should not have the emails that Phil Spencer had. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. But like this is a document, probably like their team of lawyers probably fucked this up. That like it all comes down to, you're right. How could a team of people that we assume are smarter than us, get paid more than us, make a stupid mistake? And it just comes down to human error.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Or-
is
Again, remember,
or-
how did the PlayStation Network get hacked? Right, they're a $1 billion company. How did they not get
That
it
wasn't a
back?
human
Only
error.
cheap.
Well, the
They-
PlayStation,
but I'm just saying.
Xbox. That's
Hey,
why. No,
yeah.
but seriously, just to throw it out
It
there,
happens. Shit like this happens.
tinfoil hat
Wait, hold
fully
on. Let's hear
activated,
from Umbra. Let's hear from Umbra.
or it's not human error and somebody's purposely doing this. So that
I mean, that could be it. I mean, it could be Jeff from accounting that,
Yeah.
you know, thinks he should be getting paid more. Sure. I mean, that could be
I
it.
don't think that it was
corporate
somebody who did it
espionage.
intentionally. I think it was just another FTC cock up.
Blunder. Yeah. The FTC can
Listen,
say
I
what they want. We know that they
Yeah.
look. I'm going to be honest with you. The first thing that I said is that this is Lena Khan and this is Team FTC saying we were embarrassed in such a way that no one will ever take us serious with the current administration. The current FTC is a running joke. They don't know their ass from their elbow. They were embarrassed publicly. They did not do the homework during the whole FTC. You cannot go up against these corporations half-cocked. That's exactly what they did. And they were exposed for it. They were embarrassed. The FTC is being run like like a gang. You either play under the Lena Khan's rules or you don't play at all. And look what happened. I'm sorry
I saw
to
a
say.
kneecap a guy once.
It wouldn't surprise me if she had a wrench in her bag. You know what I'm saying? Just for one, there you go. Look, folks, if you're looking at the screen right now, this is the leaked picture of the new Xbox Series X, codename Brooklyn. It is a round sphere. It is not the block that you know and hate or love, whatever. It is a round sphere, and as you can imagine, there is no disk drive for this. This is digital only. This is apparently expected to become the entry point at some point at a power price of $299 when they bring out the new Series X, which is, of course, is going to be the premium version. This is going to be the entry version. And they're just going to have a lot of ways for you to play as a consumer, whether you're playing for $200, $300, or $400 or $500. You're going to be paying, and you're going to be playing pretty much anywhere you want to go. Daniel, let's get your takeaway on this. What jumps off the page so far of these leaks? Because we haven't even talked about the games which were leaked, and again, nothing from it's weird. Nothing from Xbox Game Studios had leaked, at least not that I have seen of the 21 pages, but all of the Bethesda games in active development have leaked, and there are a lot of them, and we could be getting Indiana Jones as soon as next year, but we'll talk about that in a second. Daniel, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I think a couple of things that are important to keep in mind with these documents is, first of all, it looks like the majority of them are from as far back as 2020. These are all, I mean, even when we look at like the roadmap, they're talking about fiscal year 2020 and 2021. So a lot of these documents would have come from before COVID and before the ABK acquisition, and I think even before the Bethesda acquisition. I'm not sure exactly when they announced that. I think it was 2021 sometime though. So a lot of the documents would have come from before that. And then specifically, I think the reason that they're showing the Bethesda ones is because a lot of those games have been made exclusive. We saw there's that one like slide that I'm sure we'll get to at some point where it's like, this is exclusive, this is not, we're doing this with this or whatever. Which feels like the kind of thing that the FTC would want to look at to be like, this is what they did with their previous acquisition. What are they going to do with Activision? So there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on here, but some of it may also not be like the most up-to-date stuff, right? As I mean, we can already see that as being true because on the roadmap that I'm looking at here for Bethesda games, it says that Starfield is like 2021, and like clearly that didn't happen. So yeah, this is definitely older documents, I would say, for the majority of it. Some of this I don't think will probably end up coming to fruition. Specifically, I think we already have heard that the like cloud gaming puck thing that they were working on, like that didn't work out, and I think that they had stopped looking at that, especially considering that when she was on trial at the FTC, Sarah Bond was specifically like, yeah, cloud didn't work out for us and it was not making money, so we're not really doing it so much. So I wouldn't necessarily still expect them to put out the cloud gaming puck. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff coming out of this that we can sort of extrapolate what their future plans might be based on what it used to be. So it's really exciting. It's a really exciting time. Also, sue the FTC, baby.
I mean, I said that earlier, and a lot of people seem to think that that's something that wouldn't happen. But I don't know. This is. I mean, you're responsible for all of these corporate secrets. I just don't understand. And again, I'm not taking the director of the FTC's public relations saying that it's not us, because the government does it all the time. Oh, it's that guy over there, and yet they're doing it behind the scenes. So I don't know. We will know in the coming days. Wow, this is going to be a big topic. And mind you, we still have the Tokyo
when it comes
Game
out
Show.
and it's actually Microsoft that accidentally,
right, or it doesn't.
Then if it's actually Microsoft that did it, then somebody is fired, and that's
Are we
crazy.
gonna take the nasty things that we say?
No,
we're gonna be like,
absolutely
No,
not.
I still think the
deserves
FTC is
to
a
be
joke. Are you
I
kidding
still
me?
think it's a
They're-
mole. I still think it's a
oh,
mole.
whoa, I'm asking a question. I'm just asking. A
FTC
question.
always deserves a smoke.
Don't
bomb.
ask us any questions. No, I'm joking. Seriously, listen. By the way, there was
Yeah.
also a post by Tom Warren, just to throw it out there.
Yeah.
He said this is why a lot of Xbox stuff doesn't leak super early. Microsoft uses hidden watermarks in files and photos to identify leakers. If you look at
There you
that
go.
image you have on screen right now, boom, and you zoom in on that Xbox right there, in the center part, right above the Xbox logo, the home logo. If you zoom in really close, you'll see a watermark. You can
Oh,
see
they
it right
can
now.
really see
Actually,
it
I
in
can see it right now.
Enhance.
Right in the center there,
Keep
you'll see
zooming.
it. So they use that to identify the people who it might have leaked from. So if
Interesting.
there's somebody
Well, I
internal,
see
they're going to
that.
find them.
So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is we probably won't ever hear who is at fault. Like, they'll either quietly fire someone at Microsoft or do nothing with the FTC, because frankly, the FTC.
Well, if it
already
is the
deserves to be
FTC,
sued for
then
some of their nonsense. But here we go.
well, if it is the FTC, then why doesn't Microsoft then go out there and sue them?
They can, but that won't
They
happen
absolutely
necessarily.
will
Like
if they
10
find out
minutes.
it's them. Right.
Yep, I agree.
I don't know necessarily
that
that
I
they
absolutely
will.
agree.
I mean, because
I'm gonna bring
it's like Jobit said, when they leaked all that PlayStation stuff on accident because they couldn't figure out how a Sharpie works, PlayStation didn't say anything. So I don't know.
Like,
Maybe there's some other
whoops.
reason why they don't bother.
I don't know. All I can say is that we want to
I DM'd
continue
it
this
to you, bro.
conversation because I'm looking for the slide, gentlemen, that has all of the games from let me see if I could find it, because they had all
the
those
fiscal year 2022, 23, 24, that one?
No, there's one that it lists that you know what, let me just check, because I sent something to
That
my
one?
I've sent everything
I
to
got
myself.
you. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I'm just going to send it to you right now.
There
you go.
Okay. Yeah. Let me
Well, Steven
just go to-
Totillo about the games that they might be bringing to third
Where'd you
party.
put that in the Xbox Factor?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just pull that up. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is okay. So what okay, but this is actually something different, but we could talk about this right now. This comes from Axio. Steven Totillo obviously is the one that wrote this. I'm gonna screen share right now. Just give me a second. There was Microsoft in 2022, folks, when Microsoft, basically pooped the bed, so to speak, when we're having the delay of Redfall and Motorsport, and of course Starfield. They tried to money hat, or they put out there the feelers to try and money hat games, to take the place of what was delayed. And this is just three of them. If they wanted exclusivity, or they wanted them in Xbox Game Pass, it would have cost them, for Assassin's Creed Mirage, $100 million. Jedi Survivor would have been $300 million from EA. Baldur's Gate 3 would have been $5 million if they wanted it in there. There's a bunch of other ones in here, but I will get to that in a second.
Mhm.
Let's go back. Let's go back all the way to Web Dave here. Web Dave, look,
Yep.
there. I mean, like I said, there is so much to catch up here. I'm
Mhm.
trying to, to find a focal point of what makes sense. But of the leaked documents, you know what? Let's while I look for the actual document that I'm trying to find. There's
Yeah.
21 of them. So I'll get that out there so everyone can see it. Do you think that there is any truth to what Joe is saying? Because he comes at this from a different point of view. He seems to think, and like I said, we're taking it based on what Bloomberg is reporting, that this is a boo-boo from Microsoft. I don't know, man.
Okay. Well, what I'll say on that is, in the long run, for right now, it doesn't really matter why it happened or who leaked it. It's
Right.
there. We all get to see it. Let's dig into
Right.
what's important, which is what's in the documents. And then eventually we'll figure out
Facts.
who effed up, and we'll sort that out later. Because to be honest with you, that's something I wouldn't want to die on that horse, because right now we really technically we don't know, and who cares? It's out there, and somebody's going to get blamed for it. Eventually they'll figure out who did it. But like in the documents,
I heard it
there's
was Luke Lore.
there was another big one that came out, and just in these all these emails. I mean, there's hundreds of emails, but one of them I thought was really interesting, which they just reported. I sent it to you, Boom, if you decide you want to pull it up later.
Yep.
But they so one of the things that Phil has been talking about with like their partner Sega is that possibility of one of these newer systems, when it gets released or updated, actually being Sega branded in Japan.
Yeah, Sega branded Xbox. Yeah, absolutely. That's huge.
That's huge, man.
Yeah.
I mean, because that would really,
Wow.
especially with and talking about bundled in, and it listed. Let me see if I can find it real quick. A bunch of games that they were talking about maybe bundling it with, to. All right, and said bundling it with I guess Jet Set Radio, PSO, Sega Rally, Sonic, etc., being included in it, like a wrapping it in the IP, and as well as, and actually people have done mock-ups already too of that, showing the instead of the Xbox logo, it has the Sega logo kind of thing on it. So I mean, to me, that's kind of like, it's so smart if they want to, if they're trying to appease these different markets, and if they can work out some kind of deal cross thing, let's do it, man. Let's do it. If they
Well,
say
I'm going to say this. I agree with you. I think that if they're going to do a Sega themed in Japan to kind of bring in those Japanese gamers, and they add those types of experience to it's going to be huge. And that just goes to show you that there are a lot of deeper ties here to the partnership with Sega. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be an all outright acquisition like they did with Activision Blizzard King. I think the way that it was brought up by Everborn Saga is what they're going to wind up doing is investing into, potentially 49% or even, 51% of Sega. And they're going to have control over the video game aspect of it and the IPs. And that's how they're going to, without actually acquiring them, they're going to invest into the same way that Tencent has invested into many hundreds of publishers and developers. They're going to take, I don't know if it would be considered a controlling stake or a heavily, invested stake. Maybe it is 49%, and they do get control through the deal as they get control over the IP.
Boom.
Yes, sir.
You mind if I interrupt for 1 second?
Jump on, absolutely, jump in.
Breaking news.
Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Microsoft leaks 38 terabytes of private data via unsecured Azure storage.
Okay. There you go.
No, see, that sounds like, how does that happen? I'm telling you.
Microsoft didn't leak shit. It's somebody.
It sounds like tinfoil headery at first, but now I'm starting to think it was a mole. Somebody's trying to sabotage them.
That's wild, dude.
That is insane. 38 terabytes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there you go, folks.
That doesn't
So-
just happen. Maybe somebody's hacking them and got that info from the first one too. Maybe that's I don't know. Something is off here.
That's
I mean,
wild,
obviously
man.
that is breaking news. 38 terabytes. Just think about that for a second, folks. 38 terabytes. That's a lot of information.
Just think
And I don't
about
know-
all the pornography that you guys have times that by 38, and now it's out in public.
Well, I don't have any.
I got a
actually.
terabyte.
Yeah,
What are you
I mean,
doing?
that's a lot. That's a lot. Come on,
listen.
geez.
You guys have not invented or invested in 8K.
Oh
Go
my
invest in
god!
8K. Here we go.
Oh
Listen,
my god.
what I want to do is we will come. I'm going to read that. Drop it into the DM if you don't mind. So I'll take a look at that and I'll bring that up on the screen. But I do want to bring up some of the this one seems to me to be the most impressive because, like I said, nothing from Xbox Game Studios has been found in any of these documents. The only thing I was able to find in regards to quote unquote games that we did not know about, that we had ideas. And hold on a sec. The one thing that no one here of the 800 people, I haven't seen anybody in the chat even mention this. Did anyone see that we have a confirmation of a hybrid handheld? Holy shit. Are we kidding me? We're going to get to that in a second. But here we go. And this is pretty cool. Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm telling you right now, folks, if you haven't played it, I know that everyone's playing Starfield. I know that there's so many games coming out. When do you have time for Ghostwire? I don't know. It's an open world game. And if you're into J-horror, you should definitely play it. It's going to be in my top, probably my top 5, if not at least the top 10 of the year. It is phenomenal. Well, folks, we have confirmation that that's getting a sequel. I am through the moon excited about that because it does end on a massive cliffhanger, and it was really good. Like it what you see in the screens, folks, is literally what you're playing. It is Doctor Strange in Japan. It's absolutely amazing. But we have a confirmation on the new Doom. It's called Doom Year 1, which is Year Zero. I'm sorry, Year Zero.
Dope.
Like, hello, it's a new Doom, and we have it leaked yesterday. It's funny how these leaks are coming left, right, and center. That they are currently working on ID Tech 8, which is going to be unveiled for the new Doom, which may be coming out next year. I'm thinking, folks, get ready. The whole scenario of Xbox has no games is gone. And I'm going to tell you this right now, whether this was on purpose, whether this was an accidental leak, maybe they want to kind of let the cat out of the bag. I think Sony is in a pickle. They are in big trouble. They have bet on gas games. June was a perfect example of that. And I think that Sony is in a bit of a pickle. How much trouble are they in? We don't know. But I can tell you that just based on how they've dragged their heels in the sand for so many years, they are at least 5 years behind Microsoft with all of the things that they're doing in regards to hybrid consoles and the cloud and all this different things that seem to be the now tech. Sony was like, hey, listen, we just want to sell your box game, and we're good. Give us our 200 million. I think they're in trouble. But Indiana Jones apparently is closer than we think. Oblivion, folks, the OG greatest RPG that you may or may not have ever played is getting a remaster. Obviously, they have here something called Project Kestrel. There's also something called Project Platinum. They have a licensed IP game that does not have a title. What that licensed IP game is, could it be Star Wars? Well, it's possible. They're doing a Fallout remaster, folks. Fallout 3 remaster. Dishonored 3 confirmed in this document. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about that.
And there's also they have it here at the last. You can see on the bottom of it at Project Kestrel expansion. So the game itself is going to be whatever it is, and it's already getting an expansion. There's some Starfield DLC planned here. There's also something called Project Hibiki.
Well, Project Hibiki was Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, okay. So there you go. All
right.
So there you go.
Okay, I was looking at that too. I was like, the hell is that?
Okay, so Project Wanderer and Project Ubu. which I don't know what either of those are, but I know that this is crazy because this is just Bethesda. This is not Xbox Game Studios.
It's
and
Project
this is
Hey
not
Boo Boo.
Hey, boo. Those are mobile games though on the side, so that's not the
okay,
console
true.
games.
okay, that is mobile. Okay, so it's yep, there you go. For F to
So less
play
exciting.
/ mobile. So okay,
Yeah,
so
we'll have to get a
Ubu.
Jez Gordon to let us know what Project Kestrel is.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure that the Xbox 2 podcast with Jez and Rand are going to be very bombastic this week, and I'm sure
Well,
that
he's on
Jez,
vacation, right?
he's on
Oh,
vacation.
rip.
He is, that's right.
He's
Oh, that's so
outside of the
funny.
country for the first time ever. That's right. He's away for 10 days.
He's gonna come
All right.
back,
Well, listen. Anybody? Okay. So
just so much
we're all
work.
adults here. Who wants to jump in and talk about the games that were leaked?
Let's talk about putting Dishonored on just the respect it deserves.
Just put it on.
Dishonored
there.
was great. Dishonored 2,
Great.
not so much. Dishonored 3 better be better.
See, this
I
is
mean,
what I love
Dishonored
about
1
Joe Benz.
great,
He's got the
Dishonored
best taste.
2 better, and then Dishonored 3 gonna be the best.
Now,
Remember, these are all timelines though.
Mhm.
Like I'm assuming they got this right when they bought them, right? Like this
Yes,
is like,
yes.
hey, we bought them. This is their outlook. This is all Bethesda's timeline before getting bought. So you got to imagine all of this is pushed
Oh
back.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
because
greatly.
again, it says Starfield is out in 2021, which obviously that didn't happen.
Yep.
Although something interesting to note is that at least before they were acquired, they were planning on putting out Elder Scrolls only 3 years after Starfield. So I don't know what that means for us now, but that's cool.
Well,
I mean-
it means the same. That just brings back the idea of what Todd Howard had said in that interview that it's not like they're stopping Starfield and they're starting brand new on Elder Scrolls. There was a lot of overlap between
Yes.
the technology and stuff they were
Yeah.
building, so it's not going to be another 5 years or whatever. If it is 5 years, that's because they're doing more, not
I
so
would
much
expect that.
because it's taking that long. You know.
I mean,
Yeah,
to me, I look at
to
this
me, yeah.
timeline here, and to me, it just shows that a lot of this is going to be pushed forward by at least 2 years, I think. So, for instance, Indiana Jones, I don't think it'll be landing anytime because it says 2022, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
So
I think it's next year.
that already did
Yeah.
Next year.
happen.
I don't see it landing next year. I can see it the year after that. And I think you got the Oblivion remaster and the Fallout 3 remaster. I think those are at least 2, if not 3 years out themselves. I don't see them being instantly like next year or something like that. I think it'll be a 2
the
year, if not a
remasters?
year. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
a
think
year
it'll
or you go
depend
2.
on how much of a remaster.
I
they
don't
do.
think they have themselves working on that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I don't think Bethesda's sitting there remastering this.
Of course,
They
not.
obviously are going to give it to a poorhouse. So that would be something that I would say probably shouldn't be that big of a change. Maybe push back a year if that.
Depends
but-
on what they're doing with the remaster, right? Because not all remasters are made.
Yeah,
equal.
and maybe they turn it to a remake
Mhm. I'd be for it if they did. If they went to
Yeah.
Unreal Engine,
for sure, especially Oblivion, man. Holy hell, that would be wonderful.
yes, it would. No, I mean,
Hey, folks, if you're wondering, I'm
Oblivion is
playing
on
some
my-
Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport, that I got a chance to record while I was at the secret Microsoft event a couple
it's
of weeks
gorgeous.
ago. So take a look. This is what you're going to be getting, mind you. This is 1920 by 1080p, and I can tell you right now, I played a 64K, and my God, folks, you are going to be blown away
It's beautiful.
in a couple of weeks when you're playing this on your Series X. It is a real stunner. Controls real good, looks real good.
So,
See for
I have
yourself.
to address this. Boom. Sorry, I just want to
Yeah.
point out that I see some unnecessary slander of Unreal Engine in the chat.
I saw that. I
Pixel
was wondering when you were going to
Spider-Man, Tim Dunn, all of you all are added to the list. Just want to let you know. I think
Yeah,
Unreal can
yeah,
handle
you
it.
look
I
good.
mean, listen, we spoke with Skolsky, and even he pointed out, and he's a major, Bethesda fan. Even he pointed out that he think Unreal could handle those sales well. And they can, by the way, they don't have to just have it straight offloaded to Unreal. They can have both engines correlate in some way to still have that ability to grab everything, for instance, and things like that with the creation. So they can work in conjunction in a way. It doesn't have to be all just Unreal. But I think visually, Unreal is just honestly, even and function, I think Unreal is just better overall compared to the creation engine personally. But regardless of that,
I mean, you are a stan for Unreal Engine
guy,
5. There's nothing
he's
wrong
got a
about
tattooed
Unreal
on his
Engine
tramp
5
stamp.
is absolutely amazing. Listen, gentlemen, before we continue down this path, because obviously this was I had to rewrite the whole show, and I was writing it this morning because obviously I do want to kind of we'll get everyone's final thoughts on it of what happened, and we'll get your highlights, what's your takeaway. We have to talk handheld hybrid because if we don't, I'm going to punch myself in the face. But before we do that live on the air, let me, of course, catch up on the super chats. We have here, make sure I'm getting them all right. Silent Cipher says the FTC now looks worse even today. And again, I don't know. They're starting to come out now that Microsoft, did this, so we don't know. It doesn't look good for Microsoft. Whoever that employee was is either arrested or fired or is never going to be heard from again. I'm just saying. A Gamer Live Studio drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, we are definitely 100% going to be eating real good this year and next gen. Thank you, Uncle Phil. Xbox has no games. That narrative has officially dead. Mad Hatticus drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, this plan gives Microsoft the market lead, Xbox everywhere. Yeah, there's something to that as well. Jacob Novick drops a very generous $10 super chat and says, I thought it was the FTC, but now I actually lean on the side that the person in the Xbox uploaded it by mistake. It's bad for them, but I feel spoiled by greatness actually, but I do feel bad for Xbox, Microsoft, and Bethesda. Jay Rembert drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, remember, Boom, it was a certain community that said Xbox was going to get out of the console market. That leak debunks all of that. It's very true. Dan Lazaro drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, it's sabotage because it's great news. I love it. Fantas Archer drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, if Microsoft did post this, why choose the FTC, and why would Microsoft need to be sending anything to the FTC websites unless it was for their pending appeal? Interesting. Gamer Live Studio drops an additional $5 super chat and says, ever since Game Pass was first announced officially, I said Xbox is going to win this gen. Now in 2023, with these leaks, Xbox won this gen hands down. I think they definitely they've definitely backed Sony into a corner. There's no doubt about it. Sith Lord drops a $2 super chat and says, Umbra, I was hacked. Phil Surface to leak this info.
I can't wait till you read the newest chat at the bottom. I want to see how you read that.
Okay, I'm gonna get to it in a second. PlayStation fans saying this could be devastating and the downfall of Xbox. Do you think this leak will harm them, or just take the steam from the? I don't think this leak harms them at all, to be quite honest with you. I see no downside as someone that talks about video games on a 5-day-a-week basis. I think that this for me does paint a really, really bright future for Xbox. And I think, like I said from the beginning of the conversation that we started today, this puts you and me as consumers at the center of everything that Microsoft and Xbox are going to do. We're going to be paying $17 for day-and-day games running on the best hardware, running on the best servers. And I don't know what else to say. Your value proposition from anywhere else is going to be skewed. Nintendo, buy the boxed game. We may throw something in there into our online that you pay for. Sony, sell you the box, put out a great first-party game, but they want you to buy that game. And you know what? There's a reason why you can't buy digital cards anywhere else like you used to. There's a reason why you can't buy the game digitally from GameStop. You have to buy it directly from Sony because they want you to buy a box and buy the game. That's their traditional way of doing things. They are now starting to do different things, like acquiring Nixxes to put on PC, but they're very, very slow to adapt, and they're also very behind Xbox. Let's see. The Gamers DMZ, wow, he just a very generous $20 super chat and says, I work in NCS and doubt Microsoft would have had the proper security controls to migrate the risk. I would expect a separate portal for secure document uploads. Sony got breached because Sony lacked the proper controls to migrate risks. Man, again, this is crazy to me, but we'll see. Drawn TJ drops a $5 super chat and says, "Hi guys, sorry I missed all of your podcasts for the last 5 days. I've been sick, still sick. Hopefully going to work tomorrow, brother. Hopefully you feel better, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here, Drawn TJ. Get well soon." Maxie Coleman drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Sega branding is huge. I always said to give them the license of the Series XS to market there as a Dreamcast 2. Yes, please." CYV Studios, Central Florida filmmaker drops a $5 super chat and says, Danny Passion official here. Still can't super chat with my official account, which that's so weird, dude. And you're not blocked. I checked. I don't know what's going on. He says, question, is the league good or bad for Microsoft? Does their roadmap change after this? I mean, there's a lot of documents here that are old, so I don't know if some things may have changed already. I think what I'm waiting for, and I think we will know in the coming hours, is when is Microsoft going to make give us the presser? When is someone from Xbox, like a Phil Spencer, going to get out there? Because it's got to be Phil. It's got to be Phil, or it's got to be Satya Nadella. It's got to be somebody really high up to explain why this happened or how it happened. Michael,
we've also seen, just on that note, we've seen in the past, whenever something leaks from Microsoft for whatever reason, they'll usually get ahead of it and just end up announcing it officially. Like with Fable, even though they announced that way too early, they did it because people already knew about it. So they're like, well, we might as well just make it official. Right. So with all this stuff out there, I can imagine that maybe not TGS, it might be too late for that, but like Keeley's, some of this stuff might show up there. I could see that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
And they have done it before, because they did the Xbox. Remember when they announced it, and then they said, and then next year we're going to do the Xbox One X. Remember when they announced that one? So they did like future, once it kind of leaked and got out there, they're not afraid of kind of showing you what's coming next year now. So it's a possibility, man.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping for that Fallout 3 remaster.
Stop saying stuff. Just
Michael Mooney,
sometimes you don't have to just say a goddamn word.
Yeah, and you shouldn't say anything.
My bad, bro. I know it's tough.
Just don't
You're
say
like, look
anything.
at all this info. Look at all this information.
No. What I'm saying is, like, Microsoft, they always feel the need to say something when they don't have to. Like Redfall wasn't a great game or whatever. I don't know. I haven't played it, but that's a consensus, right?
Yeah.
Phil Spencer doesn't have to go on Kind of Funny to say, "Oh, sorry guys, we really botched that one." No, you just don't have to. You don't have to have a heartfelt anything. It happened. The leak's here.
Yeah.
Don't Streisand affect it. Don't say anything. And it just is what it is.
In that case, it was just him going out and being a real guy. You know what I mean? I mean, we can't all be PlayStation and just say nothing for 6 years.
I've been so used to it, Dan.
I don't agree with you on that one, Bad. I don't think that right there at that point you couldn't ignore it. I don't think at that point you could ignore it.
Well, you know
I would
what,
just
guys?
say, you know what I would do? This would be me. If I'm Phil, I'd put on my Phil shoes on, kiss my Phil wife in the morning. I'm here. I'm Phil. Leather.
He's probably wearing some
New
sort
Balance.
of sneakers. Yeah, no, not New Balance. I'm probably wearing Skechers.
I'm thinking it's suit on top, Crocs on bottom. He's here to party.
There you go. But I would go on platform formerly known as Twitter, and I would just say, "Oops," period,
Oops.
and then send tweet.
It sounds like a Stein tweet. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Let us have competition.
I disagree, and I think by Phil coming out and being as straightforward as he did, I think it gave Microsoft even more goodwill.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
Plus, he was already scheduled for that show anyway.
And he was.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was already scheduled. Right. That wasn't that thing was planned. And they confirmed it. Kind of funny, actually confirmed that when he came out, and he was Cranky Phil. Really that was already planned, and they actually, as a matter of fact, during after the interview, Paris Lilly was like, when he talked to Phil, he thought that Microsoft was going to back out of it, and he was like, no, I said I'm going to be there, and he went and did his thing, and it is what it is. But listen, guys,
if that was a scheduled show, all right, I'll pull back on that. Yeah,
let's Let's talk hybrid handheld. Umbra, this is to me, this is big. I've been begging for I had a Steam Deck. I sold it privately. I have a ROG Ally, great consoles, but they're very PC. I'm not a PC kind of a dude, right? I just want to pick up, like when I pick up my Switch and it's in my hand and I press it and I go right to the game I was playing, or I go right to the home, or I go right to the store. Super easy, super simple. I would really like I love the idea of a Series S in your hands and a Series X when it's docked. Right? That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that the dock does have some sort of a power in it where this handheld, I mean, we don't know. The rumor was that this was going to be this, the refresh, if you will. What are your thoughts on well, first of all, the of everything that we learned, this is the least thing that anyone's talking about. Hybrid handheld, Umbra. I think this is amazing.
I think it has the potential to be amazing for sure. First, we were looking at it and we were thinking, are they just talking about handhelds out there now that's that you can probably grab from the ROG and such, like I have and like C Money has, or is this something internal? And at first I was like, it's probably just them talking about an external device. But the more you look at it and you look at the other pieces of evidence, like for instance, if you look at the mobile controller on that image, or you look at the one-handed controller, which I'm wondering what they would use that for. That must be for the PlayStation fans. But
when they get to Stellar Yams.
Yeah, exactly. One hand is all I need. But no, so seriously, the handheld, when you look at it, the design does look like an internal kind of thing. You see the Xbox. If you look really closely, not only do you see the colored ABXY, but you also see on the far left under the directional, or excuse me, next to the directional, you'll see like the little small Xbox logo symbol. So it's the Xbox home button right there. And you see the two buttons, the select and fire, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it start and select on the far right. So it does look like it's an internal device. It looks kind of simple though, and it looks smaller compared to what you see with these heavy hitters like the ROG Ally and Steam Deck are doing.
And that might be for pricing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can get this out the door for $200 and it's an actual handheld that you could download games to, not just a cloud device.
If it's not a cloud and you actually download to it, then it's a W. But if it's pretty much like the Q, it's an L. It's an L. That's
100% L. Yeah, 100% L. Yeah.
Another thing too is that we noticed when we were talking about this a minute ago on the podcast, is that if you look at that image, everything that's specifically highlighted specifically by Microsoft, at least the keyboard. If you're looking at even at the keyboard from the mouse and keyboard, you'll see the Xbox symbol at the far right, top right of the keyboard. You look at the controllers, the Elite, the Premium, and the Core. You see the audio, you see the mobile controller in one hand. You see the cloud device. The handheld is also highlighted, just like even the consoles. Everything else is just a white outline that's not specifically them, such as the smart TVs, the mobile, what is that? The mobile browser, mobile Android, iOS. None of those have anything specific, but the ones that specifically Microsoft are colored in, and you see the gradient on them and things like that. So it does lead me to believe that it's actually an internal device. So I wonder that. I just hope that it's not some cloud-based thing. I don't think that would be the way to go.
I don't think it is cloud-based because I think they're going to probably look at, I mean, again, remember, we don't know how old the document is. Obviously, we've been hearing some rumors that they are working on a potential hybrid. If it is a hybrid rather than just its own handheld, it is not, you're going to be able to download stuff onto this thing. It's not going to be cloud-based. There's just no way that they're going to release something like that. Now, if they do have a model that you can just use as a handheld, I still think that you can put a hard drive in there and still get this thing out the door for for $200 because no one wants to play on the cloud. I haven't
found this slide yet. When they say hybrid, do they mean like a Switch, or what are they talking about?
That's what I'm assuming.
That's what I take from it.
Yeah, that's what I take from it. Yeah.
What slide is that on? Because I feel like I haven't seen that one.
Let me see if I can find
I'll DM it to you. Hold on one second.
Yeah. DM it I can see because it on the picture there is like there's something on the left that's for mobile, but there's actually a picture of something on the right hand of the slide where it actually shows a handheld, and you clearly see that it's an Xbox handheld. But see, money. Let's get your take on this with the hybrid handheld. This is a conversation I'm happy to have because I've been asking for this. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to have both of the big handhelds. The Steam Deck I didn't care too much. It was very, very heavy, and I'm not a Steam guy. I'm just not a PC guy. So it was a little over my mohawk. It's fine. I like the ROG Ally. It plays all the games. It's super easy to download stuff to it, but it's also very PC heavy. I want a dedicated handheld that is like a Switch, but just an Xbox. What are your thoughts on this? Can that work, and can that coincide with a Series X and S?
Absolutely, 100%. I'm just seeing if I can pop it up, but okay, I see it. Yeah, man, like absolutely, like that's what people are like. That's where we are right now. Like we're at this like renaissance of handheld hardware. Like it's coming back, and it's coming back strong. Where like it's almost a preferred way of playing for me. Like it's just with like somebody who's busy and doesn't have time sitting down in front of a TV. I can get my gaming on wherever I want, and that's a huge thing. And I do, as much as I do love the ROG Ally, which I do love it. The idea that they are going to make a handheld Xbox, like just like you turn it on and it's your Xbox screen and you're going to be playing like that for me is like best case scenario. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to just have access to your Xbox the way you want to, easy access, and it just works. Great. The question is, what's the hybrid part of it? Like, is it going to be, hybrid, meaning, you could do your cloud gaming on it still? Or are they planning this as a new feature of the next console where you have the main console, but you can, do a dockable type thing? Or I don't know what they would consider hybrid about the handheld.
When they say hybrid, I think Switch. Now I could be 1,000% wrong. I think dockable. I think that you take this thing with you, and it has a power of a Series S. And when you dock it, unlike the Nintendo Switch, like it has that thing. And what does it really do? That's just a piece of plastic you're docking it to. I would wonder if the dock would actually have some sort of hardware in there to boost it.
Jasper is actually commenting on it in the chat. If you see it, Boom.
Who's this?
Jasper, Lord Master Jasper.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Yep, Jasper, what's going on, brother? He says Microsoft is calling the idea cohesive hybrid compute, a cloud to edge architecture, cross silicon graphics, and OS enabling ubiquitous play.
Yeah, but that's the new console. That's from the slide where they're talking about the next gen Xbox. But we're talking about the handheld is the question.
Yeah, that's a lot of business words, but is it a Switch though?
That's what I was
thinking in my head.
That's a good question.
The hybrid part of the main console is the cloud. That they're using the cloud. So are they suggesting that if you have the handheld, that the power on the device is going to be limited, but you'll be online and you'll be using the cloud the same way the console is going to be using the cloud to boost the power and give it more, ability? Because if that's the case, I mean, that's also dope, but then it'll also kind of defeat the idea of a handheld, right? Like you want to be able to not be connected if you don't need to.
Right. I want to be able to. I put it this way. I want to be able to download a game to a hard drive on my device. That's what I want. I don't want to be like I'm stuck. I have to use the cloud because what if you're in a bad spot?
That's what I'm saying. Like for the console, that's fire. For handheld, it's like I don't know about that unless they work out a way where it works both ways, right?
Yeah.
Like you can play native, but then if you do hop online, you get the boost.
I think it's going to probably have both. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to see. I do want to cover this because I didn't get this. That a lot of people are suggesting, Web Dave, and I want to get your take on the handheld, but we will cover this momentarily. A lot of people seem to be taking away from these leaks that Microsoft is going all cloud and digital in 2028, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not buying the next console. I don't know. Cloud is going to be an important part, but I don't think they're going to get rid of discs. I think they have devices that for someone who wants to go away. Some people don't use discs anymore. My brother is all digital media. That's what he does. I still have some discs, but for the most part, the only software that I buy is I buy all my Switch games in the cartridge.
Also, an important thing to note there is that a console being digital doesn't mean that it's a cloud console. It just means that you buy the game digitally.
Right. I don't.
So I've definitely seen people conflating those two things.
Right, and
very different things.
Yeah, absolutely. Cloud-based is different than buying a digital game that you're saving to your hard drive.
Right.
You just don't have a disc. Oh, okay. I mean, again, this is 2023. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a disc because there are collectors. There are people that want a disc, but I did not get any takeaway from it being only digital moving forward. I didn't get that. I know that it's a part of the plan, sure, but I don't think it's the exclusive plan. Dave, what are your thoughts on the handheld, though?
I think it's a very important step that they need to take. Granted, there are some devices out there that that do the job, like you talked about. But having, I guess, a proprietary system that really, harnesses the power of the Xbox, I think that's probably the next step they need to take. And I think it's important that they do it. I think it's good all around. A lot of people like going portable, and you got to think about the market, like in Japan. The biggest thing in Japan is the Switch, even much bigger than the PlayStation 5. But the handheld market, the cloud market, because that's the way they like to game. So if you make that accessible to them, win-win, because that's probably something that's going to sell big in that other market. It may not be, I don't think it'll be niche, but I think it would definitely. It just kind of depends on if they have it as a hybrid that docks and can do both. Cool. If it's strictly a handheld, that's cool too. But it's it can be done. I mean, you got to think Nintendo for a long time had the DS handheld, and it was like the biggest selling handheld of all time. Even throughout its different generations of it, it was a huge market, and they still sold the Wii like crazy. So there's definitely people out there that will purchase it and like it. And for me, it's more choices, more variety, especially if they are able to do a handheld that's already on the architecture, so they don't have to worry about it's something else we have to develop for. If they can just develop it, quote unquote, along with the S standards, then there's nothing else for them to do other than it's going to be available on their handheld. That'll be a big, huge step forward for them, I think.
Yep. I mean, it's very interesting. There's going to be a lot of points we don't know. Again, this is leaked document, so where some of the stuff is vague. What's a handheld? Mr. Badbit, let's get your hot take on this, brother. Obviously, you have your PlayStation 5. I don't know whether or not you're going to get the new device of $200 device for playing via the cloud.
Yeah.
What is the importance, do you think, to Microsoft's potential future on handheld gaming? We know it's coming. The fact of the matter is that it's in the leaked documentation. The question, though, I think the bigger question is whether or not this is going to be cloud-based or it's going to have like an onboard way of downloading games directly to it.
So it's kind of what Dan said earlier, right? Remember, these documents may or may not be, depending on which one we're looking at, up to date. So this could have very well be the thing that they're thinking about. But it could be. This could be like their version of the Xbox Portable, right? Like this could be just simply that of like, hey, play your Xbox games on this relatively affordable cloud-based device. I think it screams more to what we talked about a little bit on the trophy room this week. We might even go a little bit more last week, might even go into it a little bit more this week, is the fact that Apple and Google scare the crap out of these two. You're seeing a phone play Resident Evil 4 natively. You're seeing a phone play Assassin's Creed Mirage natively. So, that's a big chunk of change. Remember, these phones unsubsidized are over $1,000, but millions upon billions of people have these types of phones. So we're talking about in the foreseeable future, 4, 5, 6+ years out, will devices be capable of doing something like what the iPhone is doing right now? Absolutely. So that's why you're seeing Xbox and PlayStation start pushing out these ideas of, or really testing the waters of, is there an actual market to play these games on the go, right? And that's why you're seeing the ROG Ally, Steam Deck, and all this stuff. They're trying to get to that market early enough to have an install base so that it scares off an Apple or a Google or whoever have you. So, or when they enter, it doesn't hurt them as bad. So that's really when I see this console. That's what I'm really looking at it as. This is a test bed for them entering into the portals or the portable space before their real big competition enters. Because look, even Sean Layden, what is it? Not even a month ago, talked about Apple as a legitimate competitor into the game space. And we're all like, why is he saying that? And then look, a week ago, we got this phone. It could play literally some of the games. Dude. Yeah.
Yep.
So it scares them. If it's cloud, does it suck right now? Yeah, but I don't know how infrastructure is going to look like in 4 or 5+ years. It might be the best thing ever. But so to me, it's like the digital only aspect. Even when it comes down to the consoles, guys, I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. I hate to be the person that says the things that are unpopular but necessary. Physical media is pretty much dying.
Yes,
it's 1 foot in the grave.
Collector's item now.
It really is, and as sad as that is for me, that's where most of the consumers are. So, when I see this Xbox Series, being all digital, handheld being all digital, which obvious, sure. This is just a future of games. It's going to be a digital landscape. Both of them, I forget who said it prior, but it's right. You can't go into a GameStop and buy a game digitally on PlayStation because PlayStation wants you to buy it on their marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same with Xbox. Same with Xbox. That's why you got that digital only box. It's to promote that Game Pass. So at the end of the day, that's what all this kind of leads to. Am I going to play it? Yeah, even me saying I don't want the PlayStation Portable, I'm dumb enough and gullible enough to probably pull the trigger when it's not on PlayStation Direct, because PlayStation Direct's one of the worst marketplaces I've ever had the displeasure.
They're something. I'll tell you that.
They just don't. Here's the thing, Boom, and this is my last little rant. I run one of the biggest PlayStation podcasts. I run one of the biggest ones, okay? On Apple and Spotify. Don't quote me on the other stuff. That would be a lie. Let me buy from your digital store, PlayStation. That's all. No? Why not? Why don't you want my money? So there you go. That's my end of my rant.
I love it. Joe, this is why we love having you on here. Speaking of Game Pass, if you missed the list of new Game Pass games confirmed for the remainder, Lies of P just released yesterday, which is dope. Party Animals is coming out, I think, today or tomorrow. Gotham Knights, finally. Gotham Knights, folks, play it. It was really good. I loved every second of it. The Lamplighters League, Payday 3, and a game called Cocoon round out Game Pass for September. What a month when you consider.
Cocoon's really good, by the way.
Cocoon looks dope, dude.
Cocoon is that indie game by the makers of Inside, right?
Really freaking good. So don't
Kyle
sleep
has it on his fantasy critic league, and I really hate him for it.
Oh. I love it. All right, so listen, Danny, let's get your hot take on the handheld. What does it need to be in the current marketplace?
It needs to be the ROG Ally, and I think that's so. Me and Joe, we're looking like we're two sides of the same coin over here. We're Harvey Two-Face out here.
Yeah.
But I'll take the harder stance on it. Handhelds are boomer tech. Like, I'll just fully go in on that. Right? if you're a millennial or a Gen Z or Gen Y, you're just using your phone. Like, that's we already got it. If you are too young to collect Social Security, you're not spending an extra $300 on a handheld. Full stop. It's just not happening. Also, like,
that hurts, but I agree.
I mean, that's cold. That's cold.
It's unnecessary. We've already got him right here. Like Joe said, like the iPhone is going to be able to play these games apparently natively. How well will it be able to do that? I don't know. But like, I've already got that. I've already got that phone, right? So no problem. I'm not going to go out and buy this extra thing. And the other side of it is, like, me personally, and pretty much everyone in my age bracket, like, we really don't have a use case for a handheld. It's because I look at, like, where everyone's saying that they play it, and it's like, I play it when I'm traveling. Okay, well, I can't afford to do that. Okay, I play it when I'm on the toilet. That's how you get hemorrhoids, right? So it's like, I don't understand where
I sit on a donut. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god, TMI. There you go.
But
Oh my god,
it's just I don't know
That's
when I would play
hilarious.
this. I've heard people be like, I play this in bed, but I'm like, I sleep in my bed, so I don't know why we're playing video games there. Like, I can just play them on my TV and then go to bed when it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm walking out of my spaceship high on life. Like, it's, I don't know. I don't see any use for it. And also the point of it at this point, I think it's maybe too late and kind of pointless because like Web Dave said, and he's right, handhelds are really big in Japan, and that's absolutely correct. But the other point is, like, now that the ROG Ally is out, I don't think that we would have seen Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond. The trash guys are outside. Hope you can't hear them. But if not, shout out, hardworking people. But I don't think we would have seen Phil and Sarah, like, so heavily pushing the ROG Ally as, like, hey guys, I really love this thing. This is super good. Because, like, you just wouldn't do that if you were going to put out your own handheld. So I do think this is a case of, like, older documentation getting put out there. So I don't see this happening. I think this and the cloud device are just kind of like I don't see that happening. Maybe down the road, I guess, but I don't know. The cloud device, we pretty much know is canceled at this point because they were teasing it at one point and then they were like, cloud makes no money, and the handheld is right next to it on this same document. So I think, I don't know. I wouldn't hold my breath for it, is all I'm saying.
I mean, he did just have that interview during Gamescom where he, like, literally kind of said, like, I don't see us doing it. Like, why do I need to go make it when I have this device? When I play the ROG Ally, why is this not the Xbox handheld? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Umbra's been playing on the ROG Ally like 24 hours a day. So
yeah.
So, like, it's
plugged in though.
Yeah. I don't see any reason to reinvent the wheel, especially if you can get in there early with, like, this is not our thing, but, like, it's kind of our thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's smart because PlayStation's not involved with these handhelds at all, so they kind of get to have the exclusive, conversation about it.
And they don't have to take the risk on, like, putting all this money into R&D and all this.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably just
makes sense.
the cheaper way to do it. And I mean, right now, frankly, they have other places that they're focusing, I feel like. So who's to say? But I mean,
listen. At the end of the day, this has been. First of all, we've been doing this for almost 2 hours now. Obviously, we're going to be ending soon. Again, depending on whether you could stay or not, we may go into the end of the 2 o'clock hour as we normally do. What I want to get to before I want to catch up on the super chats because there's been quite a few of them. But before I do, I want to kind of give you folks the idea. Today's show had to be rewritten at the drop of a hat because obviously this is breaking news. We had a whole other subset story. I do kind of want to talk about the Tokyo Game Show if anybody wants to be a part of it because I think that is going to be a big deal.
Well, did y'all talk about them wanting to send
Nintendo?
feelers out to buy Nintendo?
I don't think they'd be allowed to.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really mention. I know it was a part of the documents that the Nintendo was. One of the other things was interesting is they were going to buy WB, when they were talking about buying Bethesda. They were they were having very
Everybody
heavy
told me I
active
was crazy.
conversations.
Yeah.
That part upsets me, and I know many in the chat also wanted them to get WB too.
We need them to get it.
I've often
I don't
said,
think it's done, bro.
I've
think
often
it's done.
said that the ABK thing wasn't really to my. It's an echo, by the way. The ABK thing wasn't really to my liking, just because I would have preferred other studios, and that hampered it. However, the ABK thing is going to bring them. I mean, it's going to bring them billions in dollars and subscribers. But I would have loved for them to have gone after WB. And this shows that when we're saying these things, Phil and team really are paying attention, and they are often aligned.
Listening.
They are often aligned with what we are looking at too, because I think that would have given them not only some really capable studios, but that would have given them the IP and license for DC if they'd have gone after it. So I think that would have been.
I just want to know the color paint Phil was huffing when he thought he could go out there and buy Nintendo. And watch next week it happens, and I look like a king.
Yeah.
I was like,
that sounds like something that's not possible.
Right.
But money talks, and again, when you have a new head, he even says it in there, like the board of directors is, they're kind of against this advancement and moving forward, but he has, I guess, friends who are buying up more, stock in the company and making their seat bigger. And
you see the Saudi
he
Arabia
said
money.
He's in it for the long haul. Like he's not done with the idea.
That's why they
Nintendo.
don't need the hybrid handheld, because they're going to own the Switch in a couple of years.
Well, there's definitely that. There's definitely that. But listen, again, before we get into folks, we got still over 700 people here. A lot of new names that I've never seen before. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated as we continue to march towards 14K. Would love to hit it before the ABK deal is done. We're about 5 and change away. I don't think we're going to hit that today, obviously. But if you are finding the channel for the first time because of the breaking news, please consider subscribing. Real quick, Michael Mooney drops a very generous £2 super chat and says, sounds like the Azure had been hacked. Could Azure be hacked? It's Microsoft. Who knows? These were uploaded. These were uploaded documents. So I don't think there was a hack there, Michael. But we're going to know. We're going to know in the coming days. Dr. Strangelove drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, I wonder if the remasters will get mod support. He's talking about for Oblivion and Fallout 3. I mean, the modders of Bethesda games will probably be jumping all over that. Noxus BLD drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, boom, FTC Incompetence is providing more information about upcoming games than Sony. New Doom game is epic news. Sony.
Don't hurt me like that.
This is what Infinite Umber was waiting for. Dem bombaclot cry and burn.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, now try to do it with an authentic Jamaican accent.
I'm not Jamaican Jim, so I cannot do that. If King David was here, he'd be able to do it. I did it the white way. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. That's the best I got for you. Roshan Impenger drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, I'm seeing AI researchers leaking 38 terabytes of data.
Mm-hmm.
I love them AI.
Scary. The AI has come back. I tell you, we are 2 shakes of a stick from Judgment Day, folks. Keep messing with those AIs. Black Sausage drops a generous $5 super chat and says, I know this is positive news for Xbox community because our hooved brethren are not happy.
I think the trademark's that it's starting to catch on. I know
you do.
It is starting to trend.
You
should
it's everywhere.
hooved brothers and sisters.
I'm gonna start saying it on my show.
Bad bit. If you start saying it too bad bit for the who? No, I mean that's too much to ask. Too much to ask.
Your baby. Yeah.
I mean, once I get references to like what it means, I mean, it all depends.
It's the nicer.
Right now,
it's the nicer version of a pony
flat
or like an X-bot, right? It's the nicer.
version. It's a nicer way of saying it. The hooved brothers and sisters, rather than calling them a pony.
Yes, because they're still our brothers and sisters. They're just
they absolutely are. You can't get rid of your family. Your family's always gonna be there. Your baby's father drops a very generous $5.
I dig it. I think I just might.
I'm enjoying witnessing the rise of Dark Phil, Devourer of Worlds. LOL. Yeah, I think Microsoft is in this for real, and I think everyone is going to be I think some companies, including Sony, might be in a bit of a pickle. We'll see. You, just very generous, additional £2 super chat and says, do you think we can install our own M2 in these? That was one of the big takeaways from the way the Series X and S were. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. Michael Mooney drops an additional £5 super chat and says Forza and Titanfall are edge computing like experiences. And speaking of Titanfall, did you see all of the kind of talk that we've been getting for Titanfall 3? We might get we might get some info. And by the way, Titanfall 2, one of the best games still, because guess what? They did an update and it's a freaking amazing. Go play Titanfall 2. You can pick it up for $5.
I know you're loving that though, Boom, with the idea of a part 3 coming out, aren't you?
I am thrilled because Titanfall is one of my favorite. There are a couple of IPs from last gen that, for me personally, jump off the page. And I'm not a multiplayer guy, folks. Understand? I'm more of a single player. You know, I like my single player experience, which is why I like a lot of stuff that Sony puts out. But The Division, Destiny, and of Titanfall, my 3 favorite new IPs. Absolutely adored. Put thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into all those games.
Yep.
And a Titanfall 3, which got swept under the rug for something shitty like Apex Legends. I know it makes money, but Apex
Oh,
he touched the sore spot right there, Bad Bit.
Sorry, Bad Bit. I didn't know you were such an Apex Legends kind of
guy. I'm really good at Apex. I mean, I'm good at any.
Well, you're good at shooters. You're good, and he's really good, folks. Check this out. Head of the PlayStation channel, better Halo player than you. I can guarantee.
I was going to say, wait a minute, how are you on the PlayStation side of things, and you're good at first person?
He's crazy. He's crazy good. He's crazy good in Halo.
He's secretly an Xbox, guys. We figured it
out.
He has been exposed.
You got me
right here, right on the air.
I mean, I'm playing Starfield. You know, I do up is down, left is right. What's happening?
God Emperor Sofa King, welcome. He drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, I love how Microsoft blows up the internet with these leaks. Man, is playing Starfield. Gotta love the big W Xbox for Phil Spencer. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this is a win all around. Leak or not, I don't think that the corporation likes that this horrible mistake happened by some knucklehead, but it happened. And Tay Talks, our good friend all the way from the other side of the pond. Tay, what's up, brother? Welcome. He drops a very generous £2 super chat. Says Xbox has been the talk of the year, both for good and bad reasons. Yes, absolutely.
That's a fact.
Let's get into the Tokyo Game Show. I think that there's relevance here. And obviously what happened today is a conundrum. It's still shocking to me. I'm waiting for the presser from Microsoft. Somebody's got to come out and say, and explain what happened. Hopefully we'll know that by tomorrow's primetime gaming. But we got to talk about the Tokyo Game Show. That's happening Thursday. And why I think that it's substantial, why it's relatively important to this conversation we're about to have, see money, is because Phil Spencer came out there and he did a giant, like, hey, Tokyo, we're on the way. I don't think he records this thing and puts it out there on the socials if they're not in tow with something special. I mean, just for context here, Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, is flying out to Japan. Sarah Bond is going to be there with him, as well as Aaron Greenberg, from what we understand. That's a lot of C-level, talent that's going to be at a show. And here's the other thing. From the own words of the promotion of the Tokyo Game Show, this is the biggest Tokyo Game Show that they have ever sponsored. It's big. It's going to be huge. The question is, C-Money, with Microsoft's very limited integration into Japan, what could they possibly bring? What surprise announcements? Because I know that I've said this already. I know that other people have said this, and it seems fitting. It seems fitting that just a month ago, Phil was on stage with the new head of Square Enix. And in Final Fantasy XIV, finally coming next year to Xbox, it's a big deal. What if Phil gets up on stage and they shadow drop Final Fantasy VII Remake into Game Pass right then and there, the same way they did Hi-Fi Rush. Hey, folks, we're dropping this. Guess what? Square, the president of Square comes up to the stage for the Xbox stage. They rolls reverse and says, "Listen, you have something you want to share with the millions of Xbox fans across the globe. Final Fantasy VII Remake, boom, boom, here you go." And there's maybe some truth to this, folks, because if you look at the fine print of the Sony show that just happened, Final Fantasy VII, which is part 2 or Rebirth, has only a 3-month exclusivity for PlayStation 5. See, Money, what do you think, dude?
So I have many thoughts. As far as the Final Fantasy stuff is concerned, I think that will be amazing. The only thing that would make me not think that would be possible is if Sony, because I think under like their deal, you can't be working on like another copy of the game. Like you can't be working on the Xbox version while Sony is paying you to have this exclusivity. That's why like when Final Fantasy 16 was found out to be like a 6-month exclusive, the guy came out and he was like, well, don't expect in 6 months you're going to play this on the PC because like we have to do the work, right? So I think I don't think they can do anything with it. That's why Square talked about Final Fantasy 14 and then just kind of mentioned and their other games and more games, just because those things are still like until that exclusivity period is over. I don't think they could do it. Just like Xbox couldn't talk about Deathloop until that expired either. You know what I'm saying? So that would be the only wrench that I would see. Would it be fire? Yeah, I mean, obviously that would be a huge deal. But I mean, that doesn't mean they can't make a splash on their own. I feel like now that we've seen it essentially confirmed, now I was already thinking this, but now that we have it confirmed, Ghostwire Tokyo 2, bro, it's time, right? You give us a nice teaser, give us a trailer, whatever you want to do, whether it's just a teaser, give us a trailer, something like that. Ghostwire Tokyo 2 would be a dope ass announcement at the Tokyo Game Show. And then, their partnership with Sega is a big deal. Who's to say that Sega doesn't come out and announce Persona 6, maybe either exclusive, which would be crazy, or going into Game Pass day one, which would also be crazy. But I feel like, you're going into Japan, you have this great relationship with Sega.
Yep.
I feel like there needs to be news coming out from that. They also have, aren't they doing like that Jet Set remaster or like the
Jet Set
game?
Radio, the OG Xbox one. Yeah, supposedly that is a thing. Like that maybe it's
come
possible.
Out, show that, right? Like I feel like they'll be leaning harder on their partnerships that they currently have that can make moves. And I think Sega is a huge one that can, having the announcement when, again, everything prior to now, Persona 5, that was exclusive to PlayStation until it finally became not exclusive to PlayStation, right? So having that big splash, what better way to signify that, hey, listen, this wasn't just for the old stuff. Like, these are fundamental changes going forward.
Yeah.
We're getting Persona exclusive, timed exclusive, whatever they want to say, and is going into Game Pass.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't think that this is just, there's no reason for Phil Spencer to fly out to Japan to be a part of this Tokyo Game Show with Sarah Bond and Aaron Greenberg for no reason other than just to show, hey, we're just gonna kind of rub elbows. I don't know, man.
I don't think so. I think that there's a big chance that there's going to be something big coming out. And again, I keep going back to that conversation at E3 on the Giant Bomb couch, and Matt Booty said, there's many beats for them this year to announce because they have so many things to talk about. I just I can't foresee Matt Booty not looking at the pipeline saying, all right, Tokyo Game Show coming up. We got nothing for it. Of course they have something for it. They have plenty. We just saw Ghostwire Tokyo 2 for sure is coming. It was coming back in 2020. So 2023, I mean, the game was supposed to be out in 2024, right? Or was that the 2025 fiscal year one? Either way, there's definitely a moment to make that splash. And honestly, I feel like, Xbox did a great job with that first E3 they had for the new gen when they showed us, Fable. They showed us all that stuff. They gave us that roadmap. They gave us that pipeline. Then they did it again when they started diving deeper into Fable. They showed us the gameplay. They showed us South of Midnight. Right, we're getting this kind of future roadmap. And with the amount of stuff they have coming out, I don't think that needs to stop. I think they need to continue to just keep showing us what's more to come. Don't let us fall into that situation where we're thinking like PlayStation, where they had all those games come out and then there was like nothing, right? It's like we want it to be where we know, and not just know because we know you have studios, but know like you've told us that we have these other games to look forward to. So if a game's coming out 2025, Ghostwire Tokyo 2 or whatever that may be, it's time. Show us. Continue to show us. Don't be afraid. There's no need to worry about how far something is because we have so much coming out now that you can go ahead and do that, right? That's like Marvel, right? Marvel will tell you their movies all the way out to God knows when because they have like 38 movies coming out this year, right? Like, so you're not hurting for stuff. Right. And it's always great to know.
Well, it gets you excited as a fan too. Plus, if you're a fan of a brand and you see what's the future and you see your plate is already full, you're good. And shout out to X Burke in the chat. He's saying that Phil Spencer literally right now as we speak, is playing Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
He's gangster. He don't care. He's like, it's not my problem. Somebody else did this. They'll figure it out. But just like you said, even having PlayStation fans or Nintendo fans who might look out to a game in the future, like, oh wow, they're gonna get that at some point. Oh, maybe I do need to start aligning my stuff so that I can go ahead and have access to those games, right? I think it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I'd like to see what the future is going to be. They did say, and I'm going to pull up Phil Spencer's exact quote in a second. Web Dave, let's get your take on this, brother. What are you expecting from the show that Phil Spencer is going to be at? Like I said, he's going there with his entire team. He did a whole presentation to the Japanese community saying, "Hey, I'm on the way. This is what we're bringing." I don't think you go to those lengths without actually having something that's going to propel the brand of Xbox in a region that notoriously has failed. Web Dave, are you there, sir?
Web Dave, help! Help!
He's been kidnapped by the people who leaked all the.
Maybe
he was the leaker.
Joe,
he was the leaker.
Maybe he stepped away for a hot second. He's the leaker.
He's the leaker.
Take that question, Joe. Take that question, Joe.
What do I want to see? I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get anything Final Fantasy rated yet. I think for many of the points C Money said.
Do you mean specifically the remakes, or are you including Pixel Remaster in there?
Let's throw the whole kit and caboodle in there.
Okay.
Just for now.
I like your style.
Maybe, yeah. I'm an all or nothing type of dude. So, like, to me, I just don't. I don't see Final Fantasy there yet. But what I would maybe see, and this is, listen, I barely know anything about Square because I'm usually not into their games, but it's been a minute, and this motorcycle that's passing by agrees, it's been a minute that Nier, there's been nothing from Nier. So, like, Nier Automata was huge. Nier Replicant was also pretty big for them. If Square wants to get more games into that AAA space, I think Nier, out of all of them, has the best chance to break through. And then you get two big PR beats. You have, the next breakthrough AAA game coming from Square Enix. That's a beloved franchise, and it's heading into Game Pass on day one. That would be pretty cool. I would like to see them branch out and and really just talk to and bring on more Japanese focused developers. I know
Yeah,
PlayStation
I think they're
has
going to
like
focus
a
on that. They made mention of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, and what I mean by that is like on the indie side, I know PlayStation has like a Japanese indie like home there. I would love to see Xbox do the same thing, grow something grassroots. And I do think that the makers of Ghostwire will be there in some way, shape, or form, because we've heard that Microsoft is really impressed with that studio, does want to see
Yes.
them grow and do more things. So that's what I think in terms of what Xbox's presence is there. I don't think this is like an E3 part 2. I don't think this is like Gamescom part 1.5. I think this is going to be them showing their presence and them being there, meaning they want to shake some hands directly and make some deals directly. But I wouldn't be also surprised as well we see a big Sega presence on that Xbox stage. So
It makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
absolutely.
And they need to partner with people or companies or developers or publishers that have a huge stake in that region of the world. Sega, beloved. They may not be number one on your radar, but they're beloved in Japan. Square Enix, well, I mean, they've done some dumb things, as you like to say, Joe. Listen,
They're
they
definitely a company.
They are who we thought they were. Coach Green of the Vikings.
I still remember that
Square
very
Enix
fondly
might
when
as
the Bears
well-
beat them. I'll never forget it.
Square Enix might as well be my dad. They're always disappointed.
Oh, good grief. And that's true.
no.
That's good. But listen, let's bring in Danny on the conversation. But I want to read to you what Phil Spencer wrote on Twitter. He said, I'm excited to be back at the Tokyo Game Show with the Xbox digital broadcast, featuring the latest news and updates from our studios and publishing partners, with a special focus on creators in Japan and across Asia. And of course, that is a big deal. There are many. I know a lot of people have been talking about Korea being like one of the newer hotspots for game developers. And yes, Microsoft needs to invest in that region of the world because they're putting out some pretty killer stuff. And I'd love to see some more games, especially in JRPG way of doing games. Like I said, we have plenty of Western RPGs. I'd love some more JRPGs, and I think Microsoft is going to embrace that. And if they want to make a dent in Japan or, of course, other parts of the Asian world, they need to get some games that people can, of course, attach themselves to. What are you expecting, Danny?
I don't know. Okay, it's weird because it's this situation where the last couple TGSs I feel like have all been slightly bigger than the previous one, and so they're saying that this one's going to be the biggest one, and I would have probably assumed that anyway. There's a lot of things that I think are likely. I think there's a possibility that we get an update on that one Capcom game that they showed off at their showcase this year that everyone thought was Onimusha, but then it wasn't. But I forgot what that one's called. Oh, we lost Joe. Oh no.
I forgot the name of it too. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
I forgot what that one was called, but I think there's a chance we see that or like something else maybe from Capcom, because we know that partnership is becoming something. I think that there's a good likelihood that we see something from the Sega partnership sort of show up, whether that's the Crazy Taxi thing or the Jumpstart Radio. Jet Set Radio,
yes. Yeah,
either one of
the
those.
OG one.
I could see them showing up. People have been saying that there's a new Monster Hunter game on the way that could show up, or I don't know. Everyone's been really wanting Persona 6 to get announced. Could that get announced in some way? Maybe. Is it likely? Probably not, but it'd be really cool.
They posted it in the chat, by the way, Danny. The Path of the Goddess.
What was it called?
Path of the Goddess is that
The
game.
Goddess.
Gotcha. Path of the Goddess. Yeah.
Path of the Goddess. Yeah. So that one, I could see that being
really
there. There was a couple of years back, they were like, we're partnering with a ton of smaller Japanese devs. So I really do think that there's a chance that they'll have like a proper show here. I just don't think I don't necessarily think it's going to be like an E3 level show or anything like that. So don't go in expecting that, but I would expect maybe one or two relatively big things. If I had to put my stamp on something that I think would move the most in terms of just like breaking into the Japanese audience, is Japan loves their gacha games like big time. So if they could get out and get Genshin or Honkai Star Rail or any of those MiHoYo games onto Xbox, I think that would really help them out, especially if they paired that with like their cloud gaming stuff, so you can play it more mobilely. Although you can already play Genshin on your phone, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I think that would be a big thing for them. That's what I would be.
If they got Genshin, that would be wild.
Yeah, that's a really big game. I know that
would be a really dude. That would be freaking huge.
Yeah.
Don't let Unity hear you.
Don't let Unity hear you. Yeah, because Genshin is made on Unity. But Unity can come and pry the gacha games from China's cold dead hands.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good luck to them. Maybe they would go to extra platforms specifically to try and cover that cost. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it'd be
Game Pass, I think, is going to be a big thing. Too,
I could see that going into Game Pass, although it is a free to play game. So I don't know.
No, not for that game in particular, but I just think for the show, I think they're going to have that same Game Pass drive where it's like, and this is going into Game Pass. It's like all the stuff they're showing starts going into Game Pass, makes it huge. Plus, people. I mean, it's been enough time, and they got an expansion coming. Elden Ring going to Game Pass.
Yeah, that would be a big one. Sure, that would be actually pretty big. We have an update here, folks. Some breaking news before we get Umbra in on the conversation. According to Abdel114, Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley, obviously she was a huge aspect in in the ultimate defeat of the FTC, has confirmed that Microsoft accidentally provided federal court with a link to unredacted Xbox documents, which were then uploaded to the internet page for its case. So more confirmation that this wasn't a blunder by the FTC and more like a boo-boo or a blunder or the worst case scenario for Microsoft. I don't know. This is like I said, the more we hear about this, you keep asking yourself, why do they keep stepping on that rake? They know the rake is there. Why do they keep stepping on the rake? But
makes me think of the boy off of The Simpsons when he stepped on it.
I don't get it. But listen, at the end of the day, I just want to clarify. There's some people in here that are suggesting that I said that when the new Series X comes out, it's going to be $299. I actually didn't say that. I said what is ultimately going to happen when they release the new updated console in 2028, as it's been said in the documents. The entry point for the Xbox brand is going to be this $499 device that will eventually drop down to $299. That will probably replace your S. And that's what I meant. I want that to be completely clear. I don't want people to say, "Oh no, next year it's $299." I never said that, because next year you're getting a new S as well.
The S seems to be going down to 200, right? And
$200, $199 is what it looks like. So understand that next year,
for Black Friday,
the new cylinder thing comes out. That is going to be your $499 Xbox X. When that is ultimately going to be the entry point years from now in 2028 when the new Xbox comes out. That will be probably a $200 device. It probably won't even be $299. It'll probably be $200. And then that will get people into the door. And by then, who knows? They may have 50 million. They may have 75 million. Who knows? Umber, did you get a chance to talk about your thoughts and theories for
TGS?
Yeah.
No.
Let's talk about it, because you and I both know, and this is the rumor. This came out I from several places, that the incredible team that brought us Hi-Fi Rush, one of your favorite games of the year,
yes, sir,
is working on an original new IP, a JRPG, on a AAA level budget. It's supposed to be bombastic and big. Could we get something on that, or what are you personally expecting?
I don't expect to hear anything about that for a few years. I think, that's too soon. I do agree with C Money that Evil Within 3, very likely, because if you all didn't know,
it makes sense.
And I played enough. It does, and it's been a long time coming. Plus, if you play Hi-Fi Rush like I did, you saw the Easter egg for it in there. It's the Easter egg for Evil Within 3 in there. So it's very likely we might see the Evil Within 3 shown or announced at least at TGS. Also, keep in mind, like Danny pointed out, it does get bigger and bigger for Microsoft there. And Phil is just, again, I have to applaud Phil, because one of the things that Microsoft was weak at was their Japanese or Asian support, right? So they've made a continued effort to improve there, and it shows. Like, we see so many different games that's coming day and date to Game Pass. Who would have ever thought Personas and such launching day into day, or even just being in Game Pass, right? The Persona 3s and whatever it was, the Tactica, Persona 5, things of that nature. So last year, there were 22 games shown, 13 from Japanese developers, and 3 new additions would drop straight into Game Pass that day. So I think they're going to go even bigger personally. And I can see some first party, but I do expect them to announce some things bigger than that. The way Phil even stood on the little stage prompter or whatever for his announcement of TGS, if you all have seen that tweet, I think they're letting us know, yes, expect some big things here. So I would imagine Final Fantasy VII Remake, as tired as that argument and back and forth of that is, I do expect that to be announced at this point. I think Square has had enough of a beating in their financials to finally get the picture too. I think it all aligns well. Also too, I know that Square is bundling that along with what is it? How do you say the Final Fantasy VII?
It's Rebirth.
Thank you.
They did Remake, and at the end of Remake, they're like, and then we're going to do our own thing. So now it's a completely different thing. So it's being Rebirth.
There you go. So Rebirth. So I think they're bundling that with Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I think now it opens the door for them to go ahead and put Final Fantasy VII Remake itself out on other platforms, and specifically, obviously, Xbox. I mean, it was a long time coming because it was supposed to have launched also on Xbox 2 way back. So here's to seeing that. Also, we might hear news for Final Fantasy 16. Maybe it's possible. I know with Rebirth, I think they said it was like a 3-month thing for that. It's not even a full year or whatever like PlayStation usually gets with Square. So I think that the financials are hurting Square enough where we'll probably see some things. It will be nice to get the Pixel remix. What's it called, Danny? The Pixel
remasters,
the pre-Pixel remasters. It'd be nice for that to actually happen. It should have happened to begin with, but that would be nice too, especially if they launch it into Game Pass. That would be.
I could see that in like Octopath, like some of those games that we don't think, or at least we haven't heard that there was any specific deal that they didn't go on Xbox. They just didn't. I could see some of those getting ported over.
Yeah,
pretty soon.
If Octopath Traveler 2
should be going in there.
Yeah,
if that was announced to come into Game Pass, that's a major W for me. I love part one.
That and the pixel art collection of Final Fantasy 1 through 6.
Yeah.
That's a big one, dude. That went to everywhere. Even Amazon got it, but
you're right.
Didn't,
freaking iOS and Android got it.
I think Square is going to fix that shit, man. Square is going to fix that.
Here's the hope.
That was you don't shake his hand, all right, in front of everybody and tell Xbox gamers our games are coming, and then the blatant games that you left off for no reason whatsoever because you have no exclusive deals for them. If you don't show up with that crap, that's an issue.
Yeah,
that's an issue.
I think now is the time for them to try to make amends, and what better way?
I agree.
They did it before when we saw all those Final Fantasies being brought to Game Pass, right? So it's not like this unheard of. It's not some distant thing, and that's like doesn't make any sense. It does make sense, and they have a precedent for it set already. All they have to do, I think, is come to the table, be willing to come to the table. Now, Square has been notorious for making stupid decisions, so who knows? Maybe this might not go the way we want, but yeah, I know a lot of people like on the Xbox side of things kind of like, Square, whatever. And I get it. And it's because they haven't really built that audience over here. It's their own fault, really, in my opinion. Now, Microsoft made some missteps, but it's really Square. They decided to play de facto first party for Sony for so long, people don't expect to play them over this side. So hopefully they can rectify that.
Like your stuff if you don't bring it.
Exactly. If you build it, they will come.
Like
right?
you can't expect people to fall in love with your games.
It's just like content creation.
Bring it, bro.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's like doing content. You put out your first couple videos, you don't expect them to hit 100,000 likes or whatever.
Yep.
Right. It just doesn't make sense.
I agree. Just to add too, I think somebody in the chat had asked when is exactly the TGS. I know it's the 21st. But
well, for us, it's going to be Thursday. Yeah, Thursday for us. We'll get the digital event. I'll put it this way: by the time we get up, I'm up at 6 every day. By the time you get up on Thursday morning, all of the information will have posted.
So just to clarify, it launches, or at least hits here for you, Boom, at 9:00 p.m.
Yeah,
so 8:00 p.m. here for me in Central Time. So
it's 2 a.m. Pacific is what it's saying.
Right.
So that's not even bad. 9 p.m. I can watch that.
Yeah, not too bad. You all get to see it later on in the night. I mean, if you're on the West Coast, of course, that's what is that? That is 7 o'clock for you all, because I'm sorry,
6 o'clock for them.
6 o'clock, because they're 2 hours behind me. That's right. So it's 6 o'clock West, 8 o'clock mid.
And this is an actual
and 9 o'clock
event that they're doing, right? Like this is the Xbox
they're doing
stream.
a stream. So for people
saying.
over on the California coast, it'll be 2 a.m. For me and Umbra, it'll be, I guess,
8 o'clock.
Well, it says, because it says it'll be 5 a.m. Eastern, which would be 4 for us.
Does it? It says,
wait, no, it says 9 p.m.
It says 9 p.m. Eastern.
Well, if you weren't confused, you are now.
Yeah, even more. Shout out to Alex Ferreira, all the way from Portugal. Welcome, bro. Thank you so much for the very generous dollar super chat. Welcome to the program. Hopefully you're enjoying the conversation. Dusty says it's 6 p.m. for him on the, because he's in Cali.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's PM for us, Danny. It's AM over there in Japan. It's 10 o'clock AM Japan. Yep. So
well, you know what? Before we get on out of here, let's get Web Dave's take on this, and we'll do some outros, and we'll get everybody out of here. It's been over a 2-hour show. Hopefully, you enjoyed enough to hit the like button. Of course, if you're not already subscribed, please, for the love of Joe, consider subscribing. Web Dave, what are you expecting with Phil Spencer? Kind of getting out there. I kind of feel like there's something. He's got something in his back pocket. We just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely think that there's a few little surprises that weren't given away today that will happen, and hopefully it'll be something with Square. I think that'd be great. I think it'd be nice because they're really wanting to do. They're at the Tokyo Game Show, so it's got to be probably some to do with the Asian market. And I have a feeling, there's a lot of Asian games and a lot of updates they can give us on the Game Pass in Japan that the people have been working on, that are actually, from studios in Japan that have been working hard at Game Pass. There'll probably be a lot of those announcements, maybe not some, super big games, but maybe some really great indies that'll jump into Game Pass and hopefully eventually go to Universal Game Pass, which would be great. But I definitely feel that there's going to be some big announcements, a few surprises, not necessarily, I don't know if it's going to be, bigger than Gamescom or anything like that, but you never know. We just don't know. And if the whole team is going to be there, there's going to be something to say. And who knows, maybe we get a teaser from Kojima. He could drop just a quick little video, because that's what he did with Death Stranding. It was like a 30-second little, Norman Reedus and the baby, and everybody was like, what in the world? And and of course that got him talking, and and that's the kind of thing that he could do to just wet your whistle enough and to get everybody completely fired up over the top, for the market. So that's what I think.
I mean, and we know they don't waste anything. They always build the game as in the quality of the game. So they'll definitely be able to show us the start, show us the beginning of the game. Kojima, that'll be dope. And just to clarify, I put it in the chat because we were all confused over here. So it is in fact 5 a.m. Eastern time for the Xbox stream. TGS starts at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. There we go. Well, we don't care about TGS. We care about Xbox. So thank you for clarifying.
Exactly. So 5 a.m. Eastern time. That's where we're gonna be. I'll be cracked out. Can't see right, but I'm gonna wake up for that shit. I want to see.
So 5 a.m. You say 5 a.m. Eastern.
5 a.m. Eastern.
Okay.
So
I'll be woke.
Yes,
4 a.m. for you. And I think you're up anyway, Umbra. So you'll be watching it.
I am. I'll be up. Vampire, it's not time for me.
Yeah. Well, listen, I just want to say a big thank you. We had over almost 800 people tuned in for today's huge breaking news. It turns out that it wasn't the FTC pulling a shenanigans. It turns out it was Microsoft stepping on a rake once again I personally think that this is great news. This does open up the door for the future of Xbox. It does show how dedicated they are to the brand. It does tell you as a gamer that there is going to be a box underneath your TV, that hardware, console hardware is important to the brand moving forward. It's a key factor. We're going to have multiple different controllers of every ilk, both, opening and, of course, the high-end ones. I love the fact that we're getting a PS5-esque type of Xbox controller. I love the haptic triggers. I think that is fantastic. So that's good that they listen to the people. Shout out to, again, everyone that tuned in, that's still here. Again, a big thank you to all the super chats that have come in. Those do really help more than you know. Obviously, they do power the giveaways, and we have a big one coming up at the end of the month. I'll advertise that more as we get closer to that Friday's Breakfast at Boom, which is going to be the 29th. But let's get to the outros. We'll start first with our guest, C Money. Sell the brand of you, the missus, and of course the family. You have an amazing show each and every week. You have actually several shows each and every week, and one of which that has blown up is him, her, and a guest. And I happen to be guest number 1, King David, guest number 2. Talk about it, brother. Sell the brand.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, today's her, him, and the guest day, baby. And that is going to be Mav from Fun Speculation. He will be joining us tonight at 7 p.m. It's going to be an awesome time. So we're very excited for that. So definitely stop by. Come show us some love. Show him some love. We're at On Point for Gamers. So find our YouTube channel is there. You can follow me at C Money Forever right over here on Twitter. That's just one of our shows, like BoomStick said. We have our Friday night show is On Point Anime and Beyond, where we talk anime and whatever TV movie stuff is going on. That's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern time on Fridays, and then on Saturdays is On Point, the gaming newscast. It's our gaming podcast. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And it's just the week's news. We're going to be, this is going to be it right here. We're going to be diving deep into this, having a great time. So, we all got to thank Microsoft because they just gave us like a future roadmap of content for us. You know what I'm saying? You can break stuff down little by little for the next couple of years, man. But no, it's going to be a good time. And then our Monday show, it's Monday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's called Morning Quest with Doodle and C Money. And we just have a great time talking about gaming, start the week off right. This Monday was it's supposed to be a short show, like an hour and a half. This fucking Monday went like almost 3 hours. But we were covering the same thing we were covering on Saturday, which is a huge topic that we're really digging into. And this kind of compounds on top of that, because seeing Xbox's future roadmap on hardware kind of plays into, what they're trying to do to fight the idea of the ever evolving mobile platform that keeps growing every year, having that cloud structure that can keep getting better. That's a big pushback that I see them doing. So we spent a lot of time talking about that Monday. Same thing with our show Saturday. So we definitely, want you to check it out. Oh, might as well say it. Next week, for him and the guest, we have our boy Colt Eastwood.
Oh, nice. That's a big one. Colt's a good dude. Love Colt.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude. So we're very excited that he's going to be stopping by. So it's going to be a great time, man. Definitely stop by. Help us on our march to 11K subscribers.
Nice.
We do appreciate it very much so.
Well, shout out to Dragonheart Yobi, who says that C Money should be a permanent member. He is. He is a permanent member of the Xbox Factor podcast.
We agree. Confuse everybody. Boom. You said we're going to start with our guest.
You said guest. Yeah.
Oh, I did. Oh my god.
You did say that.
I even looked like, what do you say? Guest. I thought you were.
I was like, oh, I've been demoted.
Yeah, no, you're not demoted. You
live on air demotion.
He is a permanent member. I don't know why I said guest C Money. I have no idea. It's been a day. Shout out to Jeffrey Soto in the chat, says best Xbox podcast on the internet. That's very kind of you to say. And thank you so much for you didn't get demoted. See, Money, you're good. You're one of the cornerstones of the show. Guest Web Dave, which is actually what I meant to say. How you feeling, brother? First of all, thanks so much for joining us on short notice. You obviously are on the Xbox lunch break special on Mondays, and of course you bookended on Fridays on Breakfast at Boom. Again, I would imagine we're going to have more to talk about. And, of course, Tokyo Game Show is going to be around the corner, so I would imagine. Sell the brand. You also do one-on-one interviews, some of the best in the business, and you've basically
was on it.
interviewed pretty much everyone here and then some. And of course, you do a live show with Retry, Mr. Xbox Game Pass himself, called the Gamers Council Podcast, each and every Sunday. Talk about it.
I do. Thank you very much for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Yes, I will definitely be on Friday. Show's going to be big for sure, because I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to being here. And plus, everybody in the chat, please, on your way out, hit that like button for Boom. It means a lot to him. He won't ask for it. I'm asking for him because he,
Thank you, sir.
Boom needs some money. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously though, it does help and gets more people to know about his amazing content. And everybody should know about Boom's content. So appreciate that. Put the link in the description. I'll make it quick. We got a show coming up on Saturday as our bonus show.
Saturday special show.
Yeah, that's right. And we're gonna have Infinite. We're gonna have Infinite's right here in front of me. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have. It's been a long day, buddy. We're gonna have
Steel Rain.
Steel Rain from Living Split.
I got
That's
you.
right.
I got you.
So
buddy.
yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Wow. All right, I'm just gonna leave now.
No, it's fine, brother. Listen, shout out to Joe Dunmore, and I love you, Joe. He says Boom is having an old man moment. Yeah, I have those more now than ever. I'm gonna be 53. I'm gonna be 53 on Monday, folks. Yeah, 53. Holy matrimony.
Just remember, Boom.
Yeah.
I'm always older than you.
Yeah, that is true, but still, we're old men, and sometimes we make these on the air brain farts. It happens, brothers. Love you, Joe. Infinite Umbra. Obviously, I think the script has been written for you and Danny for your Thursday's new episode of The Fix. Talk about it, sell the brand, talk about where people can subscribe, and more importantly, reach out to you on social media.
Yes. I mean, this is a great show, great discussion. And I mean, Web Dave, if you want a brother to come through, man, you just, whenever you call me, I'll be there.
Okay, so not this Sunday, but next Sunday's show, I have a spot opening, so pencil yourself in.
I was kind of joking. I just wanted to sing that part.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
You took him up on the offer.
You're invited. I lied, so I ain't going nowhere. Hey, I was there this Sunday, all right? So I'm
there you go.
I'm a good friend.
I'm messing. I'm just being a mess. Don't pay me any mind. But no, seriously, a good discussion, fellas. Much love to the chat for being here with us, holding us down. Of course, you guys can find me on Twitter, X, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite. You will find me either way. And of course, this week is going to be a good one for us too. We got so much news to cover here. Now, this is twice now I've already talked about these leaked information, so we'll cover it. But we've kind of said what we needed to be said already. So it might be boring to some of you, but the beautiful thing is we'll have TGS that happens that day, baby. So that'll be probably a major focal point right there, outside of our news roundup, of course. So you all come through and show us some love. I'm going to post our link in the chat.
Brother. Absolutely.
Yes, and if you all have not done so, please subscribe and come by and support us. We appreciate you guys.
Yep. And last and no way least, Daniel McGee, sell your brand, brother. Now, obviously, you are on The Fix every week, every Thursday with Umbra, but you also have your own YouTube channel. You are currently rewriting James Gunn style, the DCEU. You've done a lot of great work. You actually put out a video, I believe it was last week, regarding Xbox Game Pass. Talk about it. Sell the brand, brother. Where can people subscribe to your YouTube channel? And more importantly, reach out to you on social media.
Yeah, so of course you can find me on social media on Twitter at Daniel J. McGee or at my personal YouTube channel of just Daniel McGee. Here's the link in the chat that I totally forgot to grab on time, but there it is anyway. Like Boom said, I just put out a video a couple days back talking about how Game Pass works and why it makes money and literally just running the math on it. And if you look at the math that I did and compare it to the math that we just got from all these leaked documents, you'll see I was right in the ballpark, baby. Yep. So
there you go.
Eat my butt, mean commenters, of which there was only one so far. Anyway, working on a lot of other projects. Hopefully we can get those out soon. But boy, I'm busy. And Starfield's kicking my butt in more ways than one. So
oh yeah, Danny.
I got hoed 3 times yesterday on Starfield.
Oh yeah,
real bad.
That's not great.
No improvements yet, huh? Still in the same situation.
No, I reached out to Bethesda support and they're like, Yeah, nothing we can do about that, bud. So I genuinely might have to completely restart the game. I don't want to do that.
Damn.
That
Just
would really
hold on
suck.
to that save. I'm sure there'll be something.
You're not
I know.
saving like all the time in your life.
I am, and they're all broken.
Damn.
So if you load another save, it just takes you back to that same one no matter what.
I literally I reloaded a save that was because the problem that I'm having is on the quest All the Money Can Buy, which is one where you go to Neon with Walter, and I've reloaded a save from as far back as going back to the mining planet that you start on, and just mainlining the story from that point, and I run into the exact same bug. There's just something wrong with my save.
Wow,
just like my whole file is screwed beyond belief. So
Jesus Christmas.
that's
yeah, it's really cool.
hard, man.
A big fan of it.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. There's no doubt about it. That would ruin the whole outlook for the game. That's not what's up. Yeah, I get nervous every time you start the console up and it says it was game was paused and and it says saving. I'm like, oh my god, please. I'm trying to link and merge a save. I get nervous.
I had 3 different issues yesterday where I had to reload a save that was multiple hours before to try and get through a bug that happened. And I think they all just compiled on top of each other to just completely ruin my entire file, which is crazy because up until yesterday, I'd run into literally 0 bugs. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, this bit where you're supposed to follow the distortion on a scanner, that's just going to not happen. Hey, this bit where you're supposed to go and find these gang members on Neon, they're just going to not show up. Hey, this part where you're supposed to leave Neon, we're going to not let you do that. And then like, all right, cool, sick. Love this for me.
Wow.
I'll see if I can find something for you, man, and see if there's any way.
I think I'm just gonna have to restart, honestly, at this point.
That sucks. But you know what? By the way, it's a tip to anybody, and yourself included. I put the saves, the auto saves, to every 5 minutes if on pause. That way, I have a bunch of different saves to go back to.
No, yeah, I had like 30, 40 saves. I went back to the oldest one.
Oh wow!
And, could not do it.
Sheesh.
So
that sucks, dude. That definitely sucks.
Really
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this week's new episode, extended episode of the Xbox Factor podcast. Of course, if you enjoyed the show as much as we did, please consider hitting that like button, sharing it out on your favorite social media platform, and also consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Big shout out to all of our guests, which is not C Money. He's a permanent cast member. Thank you so much for that. And of course, keep your eyes peeled to everyone's content. There's a lot to get into. TGS is going to be a big deal. Obviously, I would imagine in the coming hours, maybe even the coming days, we'll have more information. Again, everything leaked except for Xbox Game Studios. I'm not sure why that was, but all the Bethesda stuff leaked. Who knows what's around the corner? Steven Totillo, as well as several of the big journalists, have been putting out stuff left, right, and center. Obviously, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't read it. But if you want to be a part of the conversation, tune into all of our shows. And, of course, keep your eyes peeled to Double Barrel Gaming. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there'll be the new updated episode of Primetime Gaming. And, of course, we'll have a full-on recap and breakdown on Thursdays. X-Vlog Live. I'm going to be sitting down with Retri, as well as a few others that I'm going to invite, because obviously there should be something to talk about. And of course, rounding out your week is Friday morning's Breakfast with Boom at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, I want to say thank you to everyone that dropped a super chat, that has become a channel member, and close out the show with something, folks, that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day will be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught me with kids, and he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, Craig, I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you next week on the newest episode of the Xbox Factor podcast.